business whenever list of delegations is achieved to undertake divisions when due. I also urge honorable senators to accord the same priority to committee sittings so as to facilitate the timely conclusion of business pending before the select committees of the Senate. Honorable senators, on my part and in consultation with the Senate leadership, I shall continue to implement measures aimed at enhancing the expeditious conclusion of business in the Senate. These measures will include the enforcement of time limits on questions and statements, as well as the allocation of time for motions in accordance with the standing orders and the sessional orders made on 11th February 2026. Honorable senators, in conclusion, I wish to reiterate that the Office of the Speaker remains open and accessible to our senators for consultations and support in fulfilling your duties. I wish you fruitful deliberations during part 2 of the 5th session. Thank you. Chair Trent, can you kindly get to your seat? Honorable senators, have these other communication. On a benchmarking visit by the Portfolio Committee on Social Development in South Africa. Honorable senators, I would like to acknowledge the presence in the Speaker's Gallery this afternoon, a visiting delegation of honorable members and officers of the Portfolio Committee on Social Development of the Limpopo Legislature in South Africa, accompanied by Mr. Ernest Gopa, the Charge d'Affaires, which means, for the sake of the members who don't know, Charge d'Affaires is Acting High Commissioner of South Africa in Kenya. The delegation is undertaking a benchmarking visit focusing on gender-based violence and femicide-related interventions with the Standing Committee on Labor and Social Welfare of the Senate. I request each member of the delegation to stand when called out so that you may be acknowledged in the Senate rendition. Senator Mugatana, you can get to your seat. Number 1 is Mr. Ernest Gopa, Charge d'Affaires. Honorable S.M. Mathe, Chairperson of the Committee. Honorable C.M. Muhale, Member. Honorable G.L. Monama, a Member. Honorable C.W.D. Malebana, a Member. Honorable D.A. Neguda, also a member. And the following other members: Honorable K. Lebert, Honorable M.S. Shai, Honorable M.W. Magolo, and Honorable M.J. Sebodoma. We have also Ms. L. Gomo, Deputy Secretary, Ms. J. Mogashoa, Coordinator, Ms. F. Mosodo, Researcher, Mr. J. Goale, Legal Advisor, Mr. S. Mole, Communication Services, Ms. Al Legondi, Protection Officer, Ms. E. Morapa Maswi, Protocol Officer, and last but not the least, Mr. M.E. Machete, Assistant to Honorable C.M. Mohali. On behalf of the Senate and on my own behalf, I extend a warm welcome to you to the Senate and wish you a fruitful visit. Thank you. In this House, the Senate, we have a member of Pan-African Parliament who represents us in South Africa, where the PAP is based, Senator Mungatana Danson. Yes. Welcome them in 2 minutes max.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I want to join you in welcoming the honorable members from the Parliament of South Africa. Mr. Speaker, as you correctly say, the South African government has a host agreement with the African Union to host the Pan-African Parliament. So many times we come to Midrand in Johannesburg to do our sessions in the Republic of South Africa. Mr. Speaker, we are grateful for the hospitality extended to us as Kenya and also the rest of the members of Pan-African Parliament. Mr. Speaker, we have served with very distinguished members from Pan-African Parliament, like the Honorable Majodina, who has now become a minister for roads. I remember also, Mr. Speaker, the Honorable Malema used to serve in Pan-African Parliament. We thank you for your hospitality there. We take note of the fact that the court in South Africa has passed a certain sentence that we are not happy with, even here in Kenya, against Comrade Malema. We believe that it cannot be that Pistorius would give a small discharge of a firearm, and the sentence is totally different from what Comrade Malema was given. Mr. Speaker, we are again very grateful and honored to have the delegation of South Africa. We are brothers and sisters. We don't even ask for passports, visas between our countries, even before the rest of Africa did that. So welcome and feel at home and enjoy your stay while you're here. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you very much.
Senator Sige, you have a point of intervention. Sorry?
Thank you very much, Speaker. I appreciate the opportunity to also say hello and welcome this delegation. Speaker, it would please the House to know that they came to benchmark with us in the Committee of Labor and Social Welfare. We had a very fruitful engagement this morning, and the topic that we actually canvassed and will continue to do so with them is on the issue of GBV, gender-based violence. Mr. Speaker, you'll be happy to know that in South Africa, the President actually declared gender-based violence and femicide a national pandemic. And I would hope that with this benchmarking trip that they have made all the way to Nairobi with us, that we can take some lessons. I'm looking at the majority side, led by our able senator for Kericho County. We as women of the country have been pleading, and we have been debating on why and when gender-based violence and femicide will be declared a national disaster in the country. There are too many women who are dying needlessly, carelessly, and I am happy to see that there is this delegation from Limpopo legislature who have come on with the same mindset as some of us who are working tirelessly to try and reduce and one day even end femicide and genocide and femicide in the country. Mr. Speaker, I thank you and I thank them for their visit, and will continue to look forward to many more exchanges between our two committees. I thank you.
Next on the clock. Is Bonikalwale.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise for guidance from the chair on a matter of the Constitution. Mr. Speaker, Article 94 of the Constitution of Kenya, Sub-Article 1, says that the legislative authority of the Republic of Kenya is derived from the people and at the national level is vested and exercised by Parliament. And in subsection 4, it says Parliament shall protect the Constitution and promote the democratic governance of this Republic. What I would like you to guide us on, Mr. Speaker, is that at the moment, members of this House, they are hiding to leave the capital. They are hiding on their means of coming back into the capital because the security organs have allowed public transport companies to release manifests to interested parties who mark us when we are going in and out of home, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, you recall what happened to Senator Sifuna and Senator Osoti and Governor Orengo when their manifest was released to some people and they were waylaid in Kisumu, Mr. Speaker. As if that was not enough, Mr. Speaker, the Senator of Vihiga was attacked in public and left at the mercy of goons, Mr. Speaker. We would like the chair to assure us that we are safe, the chair to communicate with the executive, for the executive to do what it must do, not to leave Parliament under threat. Mr. Speaker, we will continue when it is right, congratulating the government, but when it is wrong, we will oversight and criticize them using the language and manner that we choose to use. Mr. Speaker, if we do not take this matter seriously, we will take action when it is too late, Mr. Speaker. That government officers have been mentioned, some of them, in the possibility of involvement, calls for national rethink of what public officers can be allowed and not allowed to do. Mr. Speaker, if you could guide.
Yes, Minority Whip.
Mr. Speaker, I've listened to the former Majority Whip, and I think the issues that he's raising are not in the order paper. I would suggest that if, and the matters are very serious, to seek for an adjournment motion to be able to discuss those issues. Because right now, we have the order paper, and we need to be able to transact business. Because all of us were confused what was out of order in terms of your communication, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Senators, you know the issue that Senator Mboni Korara has raised. Also, the chair has no information about it. So maybe we have heard you, and I will request my secretary to work on it, to get the facts so that I can guide the House appropriately. Next on the clerk.
Order number 3, messages.
Honorable Senators, I have a message from the National Assembly, which is a passage by the National Assembly of the mediated version of the Food and Feed Safety Control Coordination Bill, National Assembly Bills number 21 of 2023. Honorable Senators, Senator Modigi, I wish to report to the Senate that pursuant to Standing Order 46.3, I received the following message from the Speaker of the National Assembly regarding the passage by the National Assembly of the mediated version of the Food and Feed Safety Control Coordination Bill, National Assembly Bills number 21 of 2023. The message dated 14th April 2026 was received in the office of the Clerk of the Senate on Wednesday, 16th April 2026, while the Senate was on recess. Pursuant to Standing Order 46.5, I now report the message. Pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order 41, subsection 1 and 150, subsection 4B of the National Assembly Standing Orders, I hereby convey the following message from the National Assembly. Whereas the Food and Feed Safety Control Condition Bill, National Assembly Bill number 21 of 2023, was published via Kenya Gazette Supplement number 75 of May 24, 2023, was considered and passed by the National Assembly on 23 August 2023, and therefore, thereafter, referred to the Senate for consideration in accordance with the provisions of Article 110(4) of the Constitution. And whereas the Senate considered and passed the bill with amendments, which upon reconsideration by the National Assembly were rejected on Tuesday, 8 October 2024, following which the bill was committed to a mediation committee appointed pursuant to Article 113(1) of the Constitution. Further, whereas in accordance with the provisions of Article 113(2) of the Constitution and Standing Order 150, the National Assembly considered and approved the amended version of the Food and Feed Safety Control Condition Bill, National Assembly Bill number 21 of 2023, on Tuesday, 7th April 2026, in the form agreed to by the Mediation Committee on the bill. Now, therefore, in accordance with the provisions of Article 113 of the Constitution and Standing Order 154B of the National Assembly Standing Orders, I hereby convey the same decision of the National Assembly to the Senate. I thank you. Next order.
Order number 4, petitions.
Next order.
Order number 5, papers.
Senate Majority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I beg to lay the following papers on the table of the Senate today, Tuesday, the 21st of April, 2026. This is the Auditor General's report. Auditor General Summary Report on County Governments for Financial Year 2024-2025. The Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions Annual Report for Financial Year 2024-2025. Auditor General's Performance Audit Report on the provisions of early childhood education and development, ECED, by the County Government of Kilifi. The Commission on Administrative Justice Biannual Report for the period January to June 2025. Mr. Speaker, I beg to lay.
The Chairperson, Standing Committee on Roads, Transportation and Housing. Vice Chair, all our member.
Mr. Speaker, sir, I beg to lay the following paper on the table of the Senate today, Tuesday, 21st April 2026. Report of the Standing Committee on Roads, Transportation, Housing on its consideration of the National Construction Authority Amendment Bill, Senate Bills number 15 of 2025. I beg to lay.
Next is the Chairperson, Standing Committee on Health.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I beg to lay the following paper on the table of the Senate today, Tuesday, the 21st of April, 2026. Report of the Standing Committee on Health on the county oversight and networking engagement in Bungoma and Kakamega counties.
Honourable Senators, before we go to the next order, to the business of the day, I have these other communication on visiting members of the Muumbi Nyakenywa na Dingira Committee. Honourable Senators, I would like to acknowledge the presence in the public gallery this afternoon and the delegation of visiting members of the Muumbi Nyakenywa na Dingira Committee. The delegation is in the Senate on a courtesy call to Senator Karen Nyamu, MP. I request each member of the committee to stand when called upon so that you can be acknowledged in the Senate tradition. I will use my discretion of standing order number 1 to call them. Tabitha Mutero, who is the Chairindi from Kasarani. Indi Dingendo, who is Vice Chairindi, Embakasi West. Agnes Nyambura, Secretary, Kasarani. Juria Nyambura, Chairperson, Westlands. Nancy Ann Murevi, Treasurer, Starehe. Lucy Gidimbiri, Chairperson, Roysambu. Susan Kamiti, Chairperson, Embakasi Central. Lucy Wanjiku Waweru, Chairperson, Dagoleti. Anne Wamboi Geshau, Chairperson, Dualaka. Josephine Wajiko Mudhioro, Chairperson, Dagoleti South. Mire Moi, Chairperson, Madale. Saidi Khadija Muya, Muslim Rinda. Margaret Wamaida, member, Dagoleti North. Anne Jerry Waweru, member. Naomi Wamboi Derito, member. Mary Mumbi Murua, Chairperson, Embakasi South. Lina Mumbi Geshiki, Chairperson, Langata. Jane Jerry Mukora, Chairperson, Embakasi East. Nancy Wajira Jerry, member. Florence Waboi Ndungu, member. Martha Njambi, Chairperson, Kibra. Rebecca Nyambura, member. Hannah Waweru, member. Esther Kariuki, Chairperson, Makandara. Damaris Mukami, Chairperson, Kamukunji. Wajudi, Chairperson, Embakasi North. And Boniface Masharia Bo, Office Clerk. On behalf of the Senate and on my own behalf, I extend a warm welcome to you and wish you a fruitful visit. Thank you. So, Senator Karen Nyamu, because of the honor of these gracious ladies, I will give you 2 minutes, precisely 2 minutes to welcome them.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. The Muumbi Nyakenywa group consists of mature women, mainly from the Kikuyu community of Nairobi, and they are role models in the community, they are mobilizers in the community, and they are highly respected in the community as well. I want to take this opportunity to extend an invitation to you all as you follow closely our proceedings. I will also be reading a personal statement pertaining my coronation recently. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. As one of them, Nyakenywa. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Next order.
Order number 6, notices of motion.
There is a report of the Standing Committee on Health on the county oversight and networking engagements in Bungoma and Kakamega counties. Chairperson, Standing Committee on Health.
Mr. Speaker, sir, I beg to give notice of the following motion, that the Senate adopt the report of the Standing Committee on Health on the county oversight and networking engagement in Bungoma and Kakamega counties, laid on the table of the Senate on Tuesday, the 21st of April, 2026. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Next order.
Order number 7, questions and statements.
Honorable Senators, we have a request for statement pursuant to Standing Order 52.1 by the Senator for Naroko County, Senator Endama Olekina MP.
Mr. Speaker, sir, I rise pursuant to Standing Order 52.1 to make a statement on the matter of national concerns, namely the Senate constitutional mandate to safeguard devolution through accountability and protection of public resources from mismanagement. Mr. Speaker, sir, leadership is a sacred trust bestowed by the people. It is not a personal enterprise for self-enrichment. Governors entrusted with substantial public resources must never confuse county budgets with personal wealth. Accountability is not optional. It is the foundation of public trust. Mr. Speaker, the Council of Governors is reminded that collective posturing cannot shield individuals from responsibilities. Each governor bears personal accountability for the management of their county resources. The law is clear. Misuse of funds, obstruction of oversight, or intimidation of parliamentary institutions will attract individual consequences. Further, Section 19 of the Parliamentary Powers and Privileges Act provides penalties against any person who attempts to undermine parliamentary authority. Governors are therefore urged to act lawfully and responsibly, remembering that true leadership is measured by transparency and service. Mr. Speaker, sir, what we are witnessing today from the Council of Governors is not mere political theater. It is a deliberate attempt to erode the constitutional architecture of checks and balances that underpin devolved governance. When governors refuse to appear before the Senate, they are not defying individual senators. They are defying sovereign will of the people of Kenya, who through the Constitution granted this House oversight authority. Mr. Speaker, the insistence that accountability can only be exercised collectively through council is a distortion of both law and logic. Counties receiving allocation individually spend individually and must account individually. The Constitution did not conceive the Council of Governors as a parallel sovereignty entity. Its purpose is intergovernmental cooperations and collective impunity. Mr. Speaker, sir, honorable senators, our duty in this House is not to please the powerful, but to protect the powerless. The people of Kenya sent us here to ensure that every shilling allocated to the counties reaches its intended purpose. Hospitals, bursaries, clean water, roads, and livelihoods. This duty cannot be discharged if those entrusted with the funds parade arrogance before Parliament and refuse to answer questions about their expenditures. Mr. Speaker, sir, this is very important. Colleagues, the Division of Revenue Bill and the County Allocation of Revenue Act, CARA, are the lifeline of devolution. Yet they must also serve as levers of accountability. We cannot, in good conscience, channel billions into counties when those entrusted with the funds treat the Senate with disdain. Until governors demonstrate respect for the oversight authority of this House, approval of those instruments must be withheld. This is not opposition to devolution. It is the strongest defense of this House. True devolution cannot thrive without accountability. Mr. Speaker, sir, Article 96 of the Constitution charges this Senate with protecting the interests of county governments. Protection does not mean shielding improprieties. It means ensuring that citizens are not victims of their mismanagement, of theft or mismanagement. This House exists by constitutional design to keep leadership and leaders honest. Refusal to appear before the Senate is not a mark of strength, but an admission of weakness, fear of scrutiny, fear of transparency, and fear of the truth. Honorable senators, Ours is not a call for confrontation, but for accountability through constitutional fidelity. Oversight must not be mistaken for hostility. Allowing defiance to go unpunished sets a dangerous precedent. Devolution was not designed to bring government closer to the people. Devolution was designed to bring government closer to the people, not to create 47 fiefdoms immune to security and scrutiny. The Senate must therefore use all legal means available, including withholding allocations, to compel respect for the Constitution. To fund counties without accountability is to betray the very people we swore to protect. Mr. Speaker, sir, in conclusion, this House must send the unmistakable message that accountability is non-negotiable. The Senate powers of the past must be exercised in the service of integrity, transparency, and justice. Until governors appear before this House to account for the billions entrusted to them, we must refuse to pass the Dora and Kara. What we seek is not confrontation, but correction. No defiance, but discipline. Not politics, but principle. The Council of Governors must return to constitutionalism, humility, and service. The Senate, Mr. Speaker, must reclaim its rightful place as a guardian of public trust. And together, colleagues, we must remind all who hold public office, the people of Kenya are the ultimate sovereign and they demand accountability. I thank you, Mr. Speaker. This statement was requested on the 1st of April, 2025.
Okay, thank you. Now, of course, there are no comments on statement under 52.1. Let's go to statements pursuant to Standing Order 53.1. Senator Samson Chelage.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. Request for statement on the conduct and outcomes of Jukwaa la Usalama initiative. Mr. Speaker, I rise pursuant to Standing Order 53.1 to seek a statement from the Standing Committee on National Security, Defense, and Foreign Relations on a matter of national concern regarding the conduct, financing, outcomes, and overall impact of the Jukwaa la Usalama Forum and the engagements conducted across the country under the initiative. Mr. Speaker, sir, the Jukwaa la Usalama initiative was launched in April 2025 to foster dialogue between citizens, security agencies, and the government on public safety, community policing, and national security. While the initiative was well-intentioned, questions remain about accountability in the use of public funds, the implementation of citizen recommendations, and the actual impact on reducing insecurity across the country. Despite a significant taxpayer investment, insecurity persists across the country, marked by the rising gang activity, especially goonism, and banditry, inter-community conflicts, such as cattle rustling and gender-based violence, casting doubt on whether citizens' views were implemented, objectives met, and whether the value for money was achieved. Mr. Speaker, sir, in the statement, the committee should address the following. 1, the total budgetary allocation for the Jukwaa la Usalama initiative, how much was actually utilized, and the committee to provide a detailed breakdown of the expenditure, including costs incurred by county visit. And Mr. Speaker, Meru is still suffering cattle banditry, Mr. Speaker. Number 2, the specific recommendations contained in the report presented to the President in December 2025 following the conduct of the initiative, and whether the reports can be tabled before the Senate or Parliament for scrutiny. Mr. Speaker, number 3, the concrete implementation plans, timelines, responsible agencies, and monitoring mechanisms that have been put in place to operationalize the views collected from citizens during the forums. Number 4, Mr. Speaker, sir, measures that were taken to ensure that the initiative remained non-partisan and focus only on security matters, unlike what we saw the CS doing politics with. Mr. Speaker, number 5, how the forums address the strained relationship between the police.
Senator Chalgei, you know you assist on the senator in this house. Can you read exactly what has been approved for you to read? Because I've observed you handing flavors on your statement.
Well guided, Mr. Speaker, my apologies. How the forums address the strained relationship between the police and the civilians and concrete measures implemented to improve trust, accountability, and cooperation between law enforcement agencies and communities. Mr. Speaker, number 6, the tangible benefits that accrue to communities at the county and national level as a direct result of the initiative, including evidence of improved coordination, enhanced community policing, or reduced crime. Mr. Speaker, number 7, why the crime rate remains high in various parts of the country, despite the forums being convened, including the continued rise in gang activities and banditry shootings, like the recent one in Marsabit, as well as other reported cases across the country. So, Speaker, number 8, the monitoring and evaluation mechanisms established to assess whether the objectives of Jukwaa la Usalama are being fulfilled and whether the government intends to continue convening similar forums and the safeguards to ensure measurable outcomes and prudent use of public resources. Mr. Speaker, I thank you.
Next is Senator of Busia County, Senator Andrew Mtata of Koiti.
Mr. Speaker, sir, thank you for the opportunity. I rise to request for a statement on the implementation of the Voluntary Early Retirement, VER, program at the Kerio Valley Development Authority. Mr. Speaker, sir, I rise pursuant to a Standing Order 53, Clause 1, to seek a statement from the Standing Committee on Labor and Social Protection on a matter of national concern regarding the restructuring and implementation of the Voluntary Early Retirement program at Kerio Valley Development Authority. Mr. Speaker, sir, the authority undertook staff restructuring in 2018 through a VAR scheme. The program was subjected to legal proceedings, culminating in a consent order that altered the initial retirement terms. However, numerous former employees have raised grievances regarding underpayment, delayed payment, and non-payment of their dues, despite binding agreements and court determinations. In the statement, the committee should address the following: the total number of KVDA employees who opted for voluntary early retirement program in 2018, those that have been fully paid, partially paid, and those who remain unpaid to date, as well as the total financial obligation of KVDA arising from the VER program and the amount settled so far. 2, whether KVDA has fully complied with the consent order of 2018 regarding revised VER terms of unionized employees, steps taken by KVDA to implement subsequent court judgments requiring recalculation and payment of dues to affected employees, and reasons for any non-compliance or delayed compliance with court orders and legally binding agreements. 3, the criteria used in computing retirement benefits under both the original VER offer and the revised consent terms, identification of employees affected by discrepancies in benefit calculations, and the corrective measures undertaken, and the status of payment of key components, including notice pay, severance benefits, and accrued leave, provident fund, and golden handshake. 4, whether tax waivers granted by the government of VR packages were fully applied to all eligible employees. explanation for cases where payee or other deductions were irregularly applied, and measures in place to refund or rectify any unlawful deductions. 5, whether adequate budgetary allocations have been made by the National Treasury to settle an outstanding VR all outstanding VR obligations, the timelines within which all pending payments will be settled, and any financial or administrative constraints hindering full settlement of dues. 6, the identity of officers responsible for the implementation of the program and any lapses therein, whether any administrative or disciplinary action has been taken against officials responsible for underpayment or delays, and measures put in place to prevent recurrence of similar issues in future restructuring programs within state corporations. And finally, 7, how and when all affected former employees will receive their full entitlements, mechanisms established by KVDA and the Ministry to address grievances and facilitate out-of-court settlements where applicable, and steps taken to ensure that employees are not unfairly locked out due to statutory limitation periods, especially where delays were occasioned by the employer. Signed, Andrew Omtata Okoiti, MP, Senator from Busia, 31st March 2026. Mr. Speaker, I've got a second statement. I seek
Yes, proceed, please. Proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. My second request for statement is on environmental governance failure and the destruction of critical ecosystems in Kenya. Mr. Speaker, sir, I rise pursuant to Standing Order 53, Clause 1, to seek a statement from the Standing Committee on Land, Environment and Natural Resources on a matter of national concern regarding the alarming deterioration of environmental governance in the country and the widespread destruction of critical ecosystems that continue to expose citizens and counties to severe environmental disasters. Mr. Speaker, sir, in recent years, Kenya has faced escalating environmental crises, including flooding, prolonged droughts, biodiversity loss, and river system degradation, primarily driven by destruction of wetlands, illegal riparian developments, unregulated sand harvesting, and encroachment into protected ecosystems. Urban centers such as Nairobi have suffered recurring floods due to blocked drainage corridors, loss of wetlands, and rapid depletion of tree cover. Despite the presence of regulatory agencies such as NEMA, KFS, and WRA, environmental degradation persists, raising concerns over weak enforcement, regulatory failure, and possible corruption in approvals and licensing. The continued destruction of vital water towers, notably the Mao Forest Complex, poses grave risks to national water security, food production, disaster preparedness, and the safety of communities across the country. In the statement, the committee should address the following. 1, the extent of illegal developments on riparian reserves, wetlands, and floodplains across the country, including the approvals issued by relevant national and county authorities. 2, the level of environmental degradation caused by unregulated sand harvesting in river systems and the role of county governments and national regulatory agencies in licensing and monitoring such activities. 3, whether major infrastructure and development projects implemented within sensitive ecosystems complied with the environmental laws, including the requirements for environmental impact assessments. 4, the extent of destruction of urban forests, wetlands, and green spaces in major cities such as Nairobi, and measures in place to restore these ecosystems. 5, the actions taken by regulatory bodies, including NEMA, KFS, and WRA, to enforce environmental laws and halt illegal developments. And finally, 6, whether the government intends to undertake a comprehensive national environmental security audit covering water towers, river ecosystems, wetlands, rangelands, and urban ecological infrastructure in order to identify ecosystems at risk of collapse. Signed, Andrew Mtato Koiti MP, Senator from Busia, dated 2nd April 2026. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Next is Senator Mwenda Kataya, Mofaya. We have two statements. You can link them simultaneously.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I rise pursuant to Standing Order 53.1 to seek a statement from the Standing Committee on Education on a matter of county-wide concern regarding the operational status of the Tharaka Technical and Vocational College in Tharaka Nithi County. Mr. Speaker, sir, the Tharaka Technical and Vocational College is currently facing operational challenges due to delayed disbursement of capitation grants and other exchequer support funding. The institution is grappling with a shortage of qualified trainers and inadequately equipped workshops. These constraints, Honorable Speaker, have contributed to a negative perception of the institution and coupled with the financial difficulties faced by learners due to delayed disbursement of scholarship and loan financed by the Higher Education Loan Board, HELOP, have led to low enrollment levels and high dropout rates. In the statement, Honorable Speaker, the committee should address the following. The steps being taken to resolve the delay by the national government to disburse capitation grants and other exchequer support funding to the Tharaka Technical and Vocational College. Number two, Honorable Speaker, the committee should also look at the breakdown of the total revenue and expenditure of the college so far in the 2025-2026 financial year. Number three, Honorable Speaker, the committee should make initiatives being taken to adequately equip workshops and upgrade training equipment at the college to support practical learning. Number four, Honorable Speaker, the committee should look at whether there are plans to hire additional trainers to address the existing staffing shortage and to ensure effective curriculum delivery at the college. Number five, Honorable Speaker, the committee should also explore the actions being taken to ensure timely disbursement of help, scholarship, and loan financing to learners in order to prevent student dropout due to financial difficulties. This is Senator Mwenda Kataya, Mofaya, CBS Member of Parliament, Tharaka Nithi Senator. Honorable Speaker, I have a second statement. Thank you, Honorable Speaker. On the second statement, Honorable Speaker, I rise pursuant to Standing Order number 53.1 to seek a statement for the Standing Committee on Education on a matter of county-wide concern regarding the status of mental health and psychological support services in Kenyan learning institutions. Mr. Speaker, sir, mental health and psychological support are essential to learners' academic, personal, and social development. Yet the shortage of qualified mental health professionals has left many learners vulnerable to challenges that manifest in discipline, unrest, and tragically suicide. Teachers too lack adequate training and support, limiting their ability to safeguard learners' well-being. In the statement, Honorable Speaker, the committee should address the following. Whether there are plans to integrate mental health education into school curriculum to promote awareness and reduce stigma. Two, Honorable Speaker, the budgetary provisions and resources dedicated to mental health initiatives in Kenya learning institutions. Number three, Honorable Speaker, the measures being taken to deploy licensed mental health professionals to support learners and teachers dealing with anxiety, stress relief, and depression. Number four, Honorable Speaker, the committee should also look at the mechanisms in place to ensure effective implementation of mental health support services, including referral pathways to specialized services. The last one, Honorable Speaker, the committee should also look at the current status of the comprehensive mental health systems in Kenyan learning institutions, including proposed timelines and guidelines for implementation. Thank you, Honorable Speaker. This is Senator Mwenda Kataya, CBS Member of Parliament, Senator for Tharaka Nithi. Thank you.
What does Senator Kataya done especially than other members who read their statements? Next is Senator Christo Asige.
Thank you, Speaker. I rise also pursuant to Standing Order 53.1 to seek a statement from the Standing Committee on Labour and Social Welfare on a matter of international concern regarding Kenya's preparedness to host the 2027 Africa Cup of Nations, AFCON Games, next year. Mr. Speaker, recent reports have raised concerns about the status, accessibility, and compliance of Kenya's proposed venues with Confederation of African Football at CAF standards, which are critical for the successful staging of this continental tournament in Kenya. In the statement, the committee should address the following issues. 1, the Confederation of African Football report on Kenya's proposed AFCON 2027 venues, including its custodial status, its circulation, and the circumstance surrounding the limited public access of this report. 2, the deficiencies identified at Moi Sports Center, Kasarani Stadium, Nyayo Stadium, and Talanta Stadium, together with the status of compliance with CAF Category 4 requirements, including spectator circulation and segregation, the plans for venue operations, and functional zoning for teams, officials, and media. 3, the incorporation of universal accessibility standards under the Persons with Disabilities Act of 2025, including whether such requirements formed part of the design of Talanta Stadium or are being integrated onto ongoing works at existing venues through retrofitting. Number 4, government financial and infrastructural commitments towards AFCON Games 2027 preparations, including the Kenya shilling 3.9 billion hosting fee and the implementation roadmap with timelines and milestones for addressing CAF requirements, ensuring that the venues meet the standards for safety, accessibility, and operational readiness to host the tournament in Kenya next year. I thank you.
Next is Senator Mohamed Chute.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. This is a request on a statement in regards to amphitheater in Lengalani, Marsabit County. Mr. Speaker, sir, I rise pursuant to Standing Order 53.1 to seek a statement from the Standing Committee on Labour and Social Welfare on a matter of county-wide concern regarding the construction of the amphitheater in Loyangalani, Marsabit County by Bomas of Kenya. Mr. Speaker, sir, the amphitheater is a key cultural and recreational facility intended to promote arts, culture, and tourism in Loyangalani and the surrounding region. However, the project has stalled, raising concerns about delays, financial management, and accountability. Residents and stakeholders are particularly concerned about the contractor's engagement. The total contract sum should be known, the project timelines, and the reasons for stalling of the construction works. In the statement, the committee should address the following 3 issues. Honorable Speaker, issue number 1 is the contractor who was awarded the project should be known, the criteria used in selecting the contractor, the total contract sum, the date of commencement, and the expected date of completion. Number 2, the current status of construction and percentage of completion of the project, the amount of money paid to the contractor to date, and the reasons for stalling of this particular project. Honorable Speaker, finally, number 3, outline the Bomas of Kenya should give us a plan to resume and complete the construction of the amphitheater, including the revised timelines, budgetary provisions, and measures in place to ensure accountability, value for money, and timely completion of the said facility. Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker.
Next, statement by Senator Minda Kibwana is defunct. Next is Senator John Medu. That statement is dropped. Next is Senator for Kitui County, Senator Enoch Wambua.
I thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise pursuant to Standing Order 53-1 to seek a statement from the Standing Committee on Justice, Legal Affairs and Human Rights on a matter of national concern regarding the status of the ongoing mass voter registration drive. In the statement, the committee should address the following. 1, the capacity of the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission, IBC, to undertake the ongoing and planned phases of enhanced continuous voter registration exercise, including an assessment of the adequacy of related budgetary provision, personnel, and biometric voter registration kits. 2, the measures in place to ensure equitable access to registration services for persons with disabilities, the elderly, and people in remote and marginalized areas across the country. Number 3, the ongoing voter education and mobilization initiatives by IEBC, particularly those targeting first-time voters and the youth generally, as well as vulnerable populations. And number 4, the existing safeguards to ensure the integrity, security, and accuracy of voter registration data, including steps taken to prevent system failures or manipulation. I thank you.
I'm tempted to give Senator Karen Nyamu to make a personal statement, then we'll go to comments on the statements. Under 58. Proceed.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I rise pursuant to Standing Order 58 to make a statement regarding my coronation as the patron of the Mombi Nyakenywa Nathingira Committee, Nairobi chapter. The coronation, which was conducted according to the traditions of the Agikuyu community, was a great honor for me. It recognizes my role as a woman leader and a custodian of our people's values. I am not just sharing this as a personal achievement, but also to show how our traditional leadership connects with our work in this house. Mr. Speaker, becoming a Nyakenywa means I now carry a responsibility. It calls me to serve with renewed honesty, wisdom, and selflessness, values that have guided our people for generations. A Nyakenywa is a respected woman in the Agikuyu community. She is chosen after careful consideration of her character, her family life, and her ability to guide others. She is a peacemaker and a source of wisdom. helping to resolve conflicts and protect the community. This role is not new. It is part of a system of leadership that existed long before this Senate, guided by fairness, unity, and care for others. Mr. Speaker, I am part of the Nairobi City County delegation, which means I represent a city that is made up of many communities, with diverse people, a vibrant city full of opportunity. But it also has many challenges, especially for women. We have very hardworking women struggling to make ends meet as they drive our economy. We also have young girls facing challenges in accessing education and healthcare. Mr. Speaker, my new role as a Nyakenywa gives me deeper responsibility to listen to these women and work closely with them at the grassroots level without looking at their tribe, religion, or even political affiliation. As a Nyakenywa, I see them all as my own people, and I will stand up for them with new dedication. Mr. Speaker, going forward, I will renew my focus on 3 key areas. Firstly, empowering women economically. I will support policies that give women access to affordable loans, support small businesses, and strengthen women groups. It is a fact that when women are financially stable, they are able to protect themselves and their families. Secondly, mentorship. I will work to connect experienced women with young girls so they can learn, grow, and achieve their dreams. Our girls must know they can succeed in all areas of life. Thirdly, promoting justice and good values. I will speak out against corruption, gender-based violence, and anything that harms our society. I will support laws that protect families, the elderly, and children. Mr. Speaker, sir, this coronation is not just an honor. It is a responsibility, and it calls me to protect, guide, and serve. I promise this House, the people of Kenya and Nairobi, I will carry this role with courage, wisdom, and dedication. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Well, now let's take the next maybe 15 minutes on comments on statements. So any senator likely to get the 2 minutes, to should use 2 minutes, strictly 2 minutes. Let's start with Senator Manzo.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I would like to comment on Senator Cheregai's statement on the Jukwaa la Usalama across the country. Mr. Speaker, I monitored what was happening with the Jukwaa la Usalama, and you remember when we were in the National Assembly, when we made the budget, we used to have committee of supply, whereby every single item the government was going to spend on was already in the budget, Mr. Speaker. What I noticed when Jukwaa la Usalama went around, and especially for Makueni, where I attended to just make sure that I know what is happening, is that it never really addressed the security issues in Makueni. There was no inner meeting, between the Minister for the CS for Interior and the leadership of Makueni, so that you could know the security issues there. Mr. Speaker, Makueni as a Mombasa road, which goes for 300 kilometers and is used by many people. It has crime, and on the other side where we border with the Kitui, there are challenges which used to happen when animals cross over or during the dry season from our neighbors, and sometimes could be potential for conflict. And also, there be the railway line and the highway. Mr. Speaker, that has its own challenges of security, and especially if Kenyans could be alert on possible terrorism, Mr. Speaker. Therefore, I found that it was a political meeting. It didn't conclude on anything. One of the most important issues happening in Makueni is in a case murder takes place. Instead of having the proper investigation, those who are highly connected or are able to use money, they are able to make sure that although a member of your family has been murdered by another member, maybe of land issues, at a lot of times the investigative arm of DCI and the police are the one dining with the criminals, and every time their families and myself.
Senator Okenyuri.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I wish to support the statement by Senator Gataya Mofaya on mental health in schools. Mr. Speaker, before I comment, I want to acknowledge that Senator Mofaya has been very consistent in bringing to the House matters that touch on education, which is something very dear to me. And so anytime this comes up, I have to comment about it. Mr. Speaker, mental health is often overlooked because we are bringing up children in school who are majorly focused on their normal trainings, and little do we give attention to what goes on with their lives away from the training that they are being taken through by their teachers. So I feel that this is a very weighty statement that the Ministry of Education needs to look at and have mental health support to learners who are experiencing these challenges so that they're able to focus on their academic work and also thrive as young people who are going to be leaders in this country, Mr. Speaker. And finally, I speak on Senator Wambua's statement on the status of mass voter registration. So far, I think the young people are doing very well in coming out to participate in this exercise because, Mr. Speaker, for the young people out there, women, men who are actually looking to elect their leaders, it first begins with being a registered voter. And I personally led by example. The other time I was in my constituency, I led a group of people to go and register as voters. And I can tell you, Mr. Speaker, we are having so many people who want to participate in this civic process. It's one way of making the proposals or changes you want to bring about, Mr. Speaker. And finally, I think we need to incorporate the aspect of civic education so that the masses understand.
Senator Edwin Sifuna.
Speaker, I wanted to comment on the statement from the Senator of Nandi, but I wanted to let this House know that we had actually submitted a motion of adjournment to discuss what happened to Senator Ososi. It is quite heartbreaking, Honorable Speaker, because this is the first day we resume after that incident. We were hoping to get opportunity to have that conversation. I'm told that the Speaker has not approved, and as somebody pointed out, Honorable Speaker, up to today, the leadership of this House has not communicated on something that happened to one of our colleagues. It's quite disappointing and sad. Honorable Speaker, let me just address the question of voter registration that Senator Wambua has brought. You know, Speaker, as a leader of a political party myself, we have run multiple registration drives in previous elections, and we know just how difficult it is, which is why, Honorable Speaker, I want to take this opportunity to commend the young people of this country who have decided that they are going to run this registration drive themselves. There's a young man on social media, Honorable Speaker, called Allen Zademba. If there was ever a person in this country who deserves a state commendation, it is that young man who has mobilized the Tukokadi movement. Mr. Speaker, you'll remember a few years ago, this country actually awarded a HSC, a head of state commendation, to somebody for simply standing in a line holding a bag of githeri for voting. So what Alan Zademba has been able to achieve in terms of registration of over 1 million young people in a very short space, I think even these titles that some of us have should be given to people like Alan Zademba because of the civic education that he's doing there. And at a fraction, Honorable Speaker, of the budgets that we see from IEBC. I just want that in that statement as well, the committee addresses some of the concerns that we have seen. First of all, this commission that is headed by Rasta Zetekon is very poor in communication. There was a lot of confusion when they told us the issue of people who registered prior to 2012. We need them to communicate with clarity, Honorable Speaker, and address some of the concerns that we have heard from the ground, including, Honorable Speaker, allegations of registration of foreigners, especially in the border.
Very well. Okay. Senator Mohamed Chute.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, allow me to support the statement by Senator Cherargei. Honorable Speaker, Jukwaa la Usalama. This issue of saying Jukwaa la Usalama, I want, if possible, it should be called Jukwaa la Bala. Honorable Speaker, the reason being is this. Just yesterday, a young man who went to Merile from Nairobi buying, of course, livestock. He's a livestock trader. His name is Ailia Irbaye Konse. Was killed yesterday. As you are aware, Honorable Speaker, we have issues between Isiolo, Samburu, Meru, Marsabit, and Laikipia County. Problems every day. If this Jukwaa la Usalama was really bringing Usalama to us, why do we still have this problem? I think the committee, security committee, should move very, very fast to ask the CS to come before that committee and explain to us what Usalama means. Honorable Speaker, if you look at abductions, in Marsabit County, so many people were abducted, young, energetic people. Just recently, they killed a young man. They abducted him from Oda, which is about, I think, about 15 kilometers from Moyale town. And he was found dead about another 100 kilometers away. Is this really Jukwaa la Usalama? Honorable Speaker, as you are aware, today we have another problem. Wajir County has invaded Marsabit County. They've started a project in Marsabit County.
Senator Ole Kina Rendama.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise to support the statement by the distinguished senator from Busia County. Mr. Speaker, the issue of the environment is something that all of us must take very seriously. Mr. Speaker, the city of Nairobi, and I'm happy that the good senator has raised pertinent issues on how ignorant we've become. It appears that we only care about what fits us, but we don't care about the future of this nation. Mr. Speaker, the issue of the environment, there is a very serious crisis which has been raised severally, and I'm sure most of you, if you go to the industrial area, like I do every day, you will see a dump site in Likoni Road. You know, this dump site is a menace to this city. Mr. Speaker, that dump site recently, because of that dump site, it caused heavy damages to over 15 industries, which are around this place called Ectoville Estate. Mr. Speaker, there are over 10,000 people who are being employed in those industries. If we don't take this issue of the environment seriously, we not only lose an uprising of the youth who will not get jobs from those industries, but also we will be consuming heavy metals. It's about time that the Ministry of Environment take action, and particularly the Nairobi River Commission. This issue of the Ngong River flooding, there were floods just the other day. If we just come here and talk and no action is taken, Mr. Speaker will suffer. So, Mr. Speaker, I'd like to request a committee to take this matter of these dump sites, which are in the industrial area, very seriously. There are companies there, Mr. Speaker, very important companies like Karatasi Industry, English Press, there's Nabico, there's Tech Park. These are companies that are supporting our economy.
Senator Dr. Mboni Karware.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the statement on AFCON by Senator Sige is very important. However, I notice that she's more keen on infrastructure. To succeed at AFCON, the infrastructure will help us in hosting and for the entire tournament. It should also concern the committee that we be told the investment into the national team Harambee Stars, Mr. Speaker. We'd like to know how much money has been invested into the team, how the team is going to be accommodated. Mr. Speaker, If there are any incentives, let the committee be told so that we don't leave it at the whim of politicians to start saying the top scorer, every time you win, I'll give you this many millions. We don't want that kind of arrangement. We want a proper budget. If there is an incentive, it be clear to players that if I score, I'll get this much. And if we win as a team, we will get this as an incentive, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, finally, on the statement by Wambua, I want to congratulate Kakamega for coming number 3 as of now, led by Nairobi, Kiambu, then Kakamega, and Nakuru. Mr. Speaker, to large counties like Kakamega and Kiambu, we would like the government to make it possible, because the distances from voters' homes to polling station is vast, to make it possible so that we have mobile registration running to the nearest shop.
Senator Wabua.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise to make a comment on the statement brought by the Senator for Busia, Senator Omtata, on the matter of dam sites, Mr. Speaker, in the city of Nairobi. Mr. Speaker, unlike Senator Olekina, who says he goes to industrial area every day, I may not be going there every day, Mr. Speaker, but one thing is for sure, that the level at which we are degrading our environment, especially in the city county of Nairobi, Mr. Speaker, it's actually a national crisis. What we are looking at is a situation where very, very soon, Mr. Speaker, if measures are not put in place, certain very, very important companies will have to either reduce the number of staff or close shop because of the level of degradation, Mr. Speaker, that has taken place around those areas. And in particular, Mr. Speaker, you know, when you talk about Karatasi industry, that's a factory that has been in existence for the longest time. Now it's being choked by a dump site, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the last time I checked, I saw that the national government was trying to help the city county of Nairobi to manage their solid waste. The Speaker, if it does not begin with the dump sites, then I don't know where that help, Mr. Speaker, is beginning. I want to ask the committee, Mr. Speaker, to move with speed to ensure that this matter is addressed as a matter of urgency, to ensure that our companies remain afloat. Most of the people, Mr. Speaker, I've checked, most of the people who are employed in those companies around that dump site are actually people from Ukambani, Mr. Speaker. So as a leader from that.
Honorable Senator Zavdiara, is 2 minutes is too short a time. So next time I will revisit that matter. Next is Senator Kisan.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I want to make comment on the statement by Senator for Kitui on further registration. You know, Honorable Speaker, you know very well we stayed for close to almost 1.5 years without commissioners being in place by IEBC. So it means there is a serious backlog of further registration, and I hope after these 30 days of mass further registration, the IEBC should seek for additional resources so that they can do another mass further registration, maybe between September, October there, or July, August, September, Honorable Speaker, so that our youth and those who have not registered as voters may get an opportunity to register so that they can exercise their democratic right next year, Honorable Speaker. And I want to urge all our youth, all our GNCs, both those in the universities and those at home to register as voters, because it's an opportunity for them so that come next year they have an opportunity to make a decision whom they'll choose as the leader, Honorable Speaker. And I want to urge, especially those from my county, to thank them, because so far they have done good, but they still need to do more. And generally, Honorable Speaker, Kenyans like the last minute. We have the last 7 days now before 28. I hope they'll use this opportunity to go to the polling centers, go to the registration centers to register as voters. I want to urge them, and across the country, and even those in the university, they don't have, and colleges, they don't have to go to the polling stations. IBC has already configured the registration kits. You can register from anywhere and choose the polling station that you want to undertake a voter next year to vote next year, Honorable Speaker. So they should not fear that you don't have to travel all the way to your polling station. You can
Senator Sige.
Thank you very much, Speaker. I am unfortunately going to complain again about these multi-Congress units, which even though we spent as a Senate several million of shillings to revamp them in the chambers, they continue to be inaccessible, Speaker, especially to those of us with sensory disabilities. And that's unfortunate, Chair. I've been waiting for an opportunity, but I hope that this will be addressed. It's on the same basis of accessibility that I make a comment on Senator Wambua's mass registration statement. Speaker, I unfortunately with pain want to report to the House that I have been to a couple of these centers where the IEBC are performing these registration of new voters, and I have done audits. Most of them are inaccessible to people with disabilities. They continue to be so, Speaker. I keep asking the question to IEBC, are your officers trained on disability assistance? Are your centers accessible in terms of having ramps, in terms of having entrances and exits that are accessible to people with disabilities? Speaker, are the kits even accessible to people with disabilities? And these answers continue to come back as negative. Mr. Speaker, I would also like IEBC, through the statement by Wambua, to address issues on uncollected IDs by the public, because that continues to be an issue that will hinder the full participation of every single Kenyan when it comes to our elections next year. Speaker, because if we want a new generation of leaders, we will have to have a new generation of voters. And Mr. Speaker, you will be pleased, or maybe you'll be disappointed to know that in Nairobi, there are over 600,000 uncollected IDs sitting somewhere in buildings, and IEBC and the immigration departments are doing nothing to look for these people to make sure they have their ID so they can go and register to vote next year. Mr. Speaker, in the coastal region, there are also tens of thousands of uncollected IDs.
Give Senator Sige 30 seconds to conclude on the coastal region. 30 seconds, starting now.
Thank you very much, Speaker. I was saying that on the coast, data shows that in Mombasa, for example, Kilifi actually is leading with 14,000 uncollected IDs, and it's followed by Mombasa with 10,025 uncollected, Kwale with 3,683, Taita Taveta with 1,436, Tana River with 1,278, and Lamu with 1,049 uncollected IDs. And in the West, Speaker, Kakamega, that is, Vihiga, Bungoma, and also Busia, has 7,965, 2,388, 7,145, and 4,008 uncollected IDs, respectively, in the Western region. And it continues, Speaker. So when we discuss voter registration, and if we want to do it at mass, we also need to understand and address the issue of uncollected national.
Senator Julius Recha.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, for giving me the opportunity to make my comments on the reports by Morfire or Gataya about mental health. Mental health continues, as mentioned by one of my colleagues, to be ignored and to be not understood. But it is all because we refuse to make awareness of it, even if we know. This needs to be sensitized in schools and also in communities, and that calls for provision on budgetary so that there is effectiveness of the sensitization and so on. And then a system should be mechanized such that it is a system that is workable. And then secondly, I would like to make a few comments on the report given by Ecoiti of Busia County on the environment or destruction of environment. It is sad that some of the erosions and destruction of environment is made by people that are just doing it purposely. They encroach rivers, they encroach forests, they encroach public places, and so on, and therefore this becomes a destruction to ecosystem.
Honorable Senators, I think we have done our 15 minutes, actually now 25 minutes. So I want to give the minority leader, you have 2 minutes, and then we conclude on comments, on statements.
You said you would...
Sorry?
You said you would increase...
But no, even you are wasting those minutes we are trying to save. Why don't you go straight to your comment?
Asante mstahiki, Speaker. Mstahiki Speaker, kwanza nataka kuunga mkono ile statement ambayo imepeanwa na Mofaya, Senator Mofaya. Na Speaker, ni kwamba hivi mawiki yaliyokwisha ya juzi kumekuwa na mvua nyingi sana katika nchi yetu. Hususan tukizungumzia habari ya mahali kama hapa Nairobi tunapofanya kazi, ni kwamba Nairobi ilikuwa na mvua nyingi na tuliona dalili nyingi sana za uharibifu wa mali za watu. Mimi nataka kugusia tu kama hii Teto Truck Industries ni kampuni ambayo iko na mali nyingi sana na ilikuwa mojawapo ambayo iliathirika zaidi kwa sababu ya haya maji. Tumeona magari yakichukuliwa, tumeona properties zao pia zikiweza kuharibika na haya maji ambayo yalikuwa yanatembea kiholela holela kila mahali. Mheshimiwa Speaker, hii imesababishwa na ile dump site ama pale mahali panatupwa takataka. Na hizi takataka hizi zikiwa zinatupwa huko pande za industrial area, maeneo kama ya Likoni Road na vile pia Ngong River. Hii ni mikondo ya mito ambayo yote imetupiwa takataka mpaka kumekuwa na uzito wa yale maji kuweza kutoa hizi takataka. Na hii yote uharibifu wote huu umeletwa na uzembe wa kazi wa mtu ambaye anaangalia mazingira hayo katika Nairobi River Commission. Huyu mtu anafanya kazi ndani ya Nairobi River Commission. Hakuna kazi yoyote anayofanya pale ndani isipokuwa kukaa tu namna hii bila kazi haiendelee.
Kwa moja basi, moja umalizie.
Shukran bwana Daktari Shemegi yangu sasa. Kwa hiyo Bwana Speaker, nasema kwamba watu kama hawa ambao wanazembea kazi zao waachishwe kazi mara moja kutoka kwa hizo commission, kwa sababu tunaona uharibifu unaendelea, na kwa sababu mito kama hii ikiwa italeta uharibifu itakuwa ni hasara kwa wale wafanya biashara, na wale wafanya biashara mara nyingi sana watalazimika kufunga kampuni zao, na itakuwa hasara kwa watu wetu ambao watakosa kazi na sio vyema kuenda njia kama hizo. Asante Bwana Speaker.
Honorable Senators, now I want to defer order number 8. Then you go to order number 9, Clerk.
Order number 9, motion report of the proceedings of the Artificial Intelligence Conference on the role of parliaments in shaping the future of responsible AI, held from 28th to 30th November 2025 in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. Resumption of debate. Mover to reply.
The Enoch Kombua.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I beg to reply on the report of the proceedings of the Artificial Intelligence Conference on the role of Parliament in shaping the future of responsible AI, held from 28th day of November to the 30th day, 2025 in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. The Speaker, I want to take this opportunity to thank my colleagues that took time and applied themselves and their intelligence, Mr. Speaker, to make comments on this report. And Mr. Speaker, it is my wish and my desire that a lot more senators would avail the opportunity to apply themselves to this, but Mr. Speaker, because time will not allow that to happen, I want to say that those who had an opportunity to comment, then they did it for the rest of us. And that, Mr. Speaker, I hope that going forward, the Kenyan Parliament and the Senate in particular, the Speaker, will take very, very keen interest on matters AI, because that's where the future is going, Mr. Speaker. That's where the world is going. Mr. Speaker, as I reply, I just want to maybe just caution all of us, including myself, that this AI, Mr. Speaker, even as it develops with time, Mr. Speaker, it's breaking new grounds in terms of personal relationships. In fact, it has now moved from interpersonal relations among us people who are living. Now it's even gone to a level, Mr. Speaker, that people are able now to converse with the dead using AI, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I'm saying that Parliament must, Mr. Speaker, begin to apply ourselves on how to regulate the use of responsible AI in the chambers and outside the chambers, in our public lives and private lives. Mr. Speaker, I beg to reply.
Clerk, I said to know that we have quorum to put the question. Okay. Also, I want to make the determination that this matter does not affect counties. And therefore, I want to put a question. Honorable Senators, I put the question. Aware that Article 96(1) and 3 of the Constitution mandates the Senate Sorry, Senators. I put the question that the Senate knows the report of the proceedings of the Artificial Intelligence AI Conference on the role of Parliament in shaping the future of the responsible AI held from 20th to 30th November 2025 in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, then on the table of the Senate on Tuesday, 24th February 2026. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as of a contrary opinion say nay? Nay. The ayes have it. After that business, honorable senators, I will reorganize the business to defer under number 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14. And then also reorganize the sequence from 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. We go to all the way to under number 24. Motion by Senator Veronica Maina.
Order number 24, motion, mainstreaming gender perspectives in legislative and policy processes.
Senator,
resumption of debate.
Senator Veronica. Yes, Senator Chalege, you are on the floor to seconding the motion. How many minutes do you have? Proceed and conclude.
Mr. Speaker, thank you very much. I was continuing to second the motion on the mainstreaming gender perspective in legislative and policy processes. Mr. Speaker, you remember in the last session, for some of us who have been lucky to be around for some time, Chief Justice David Maraga delivered a ruling, then or advisory opinion by the Supreme Court that Parliament was not constitutionally constituted because Parliament had violated Article 27(8) on the issue of a two-third gender rule, where we failed the threshold, Mr. Speaker, sir. And that brings a lot of quagmire, legal quagmire, that affected, Mr. Speaker, the role of women. And I want to congratulate Senator Veronica Maina, the distinguished senator, nominated senator, of course, and the SG Emeritus of the United Democratic Alliance ruling party, for thinking critically. And that is why the role of women in this country and marginalized groups cannot be gainsaid, Mr. Speaker. And I saw the distinguished senator of Nyamira wishing his mother, I think, a happy birthday. And she is growing graciously. And the strength of men is in women. Mr. Speaker, there is a song sung by Shaggy that says, "Strength of a woman." And then there came a Nigerian singer, I'm forgetting the name, that says, "What a man can do, a woman can do it better and proper." Mr. Speaker, and even they said, beside, I don't want to say behind, beside every successful man, there must be a gracious lady. Mr. Speaker, the role of women in our society, most of the families, and I'm saying this because, Mr. Speaker, over the weekend, I joined women from AIC, Lelmokwa DCC, Mr. Speaker, and AIC Kamnyamisa DCC for their training, and I was telling women that they have a unique role in this country. Their role goes beyond the kitchen. Their role goes beyond the housekeeping. Their role goes beyond giving birth, Mr. Speaker. Their role is so unique that women from Beijing in 1995 have a role to sit in the governance and decision-making, Mr. Speaker. I must appreciate, Mr. Speaker, that women continue to play a critical role in leadership and governance. And I'm the biggest champion, Mr. Speaker. It has to go on record that last session, when I was the chair, and I wish my successor of Justice, Legal Affairs and Human Rights would give you space, because, Mr. Speaker, he failed. Following up on the legacy, I left because when I was the chair of JLAC, I left a legacy report that the implementation of two-third gender rule must be implemented by Justice, Legal Affairs, and Human Rights. But I know Senator Sigei, as a good man, is a great champion of women's rights. I know he will ensure it is being pushed through and complied, Mr. Speaker. So women, wherever you are, we are proud. And just to present, I want to challenge women, Mr. Speaker. There is this issue of ongoing registration of voters. I want to encourage women wherever they are. Go and register as a voter. And we challenge, Mr. Speaker, we challenge all the women, wherever you are, register as a voter and vote, Mr. Speaker, so that you can be part of decision. I want to discourage women, Mr. Speaker, from waiting for tokenism, Mr. Speaker, in leadership, Mr. Speaker. The only way women can stop that is getting registered, vote, and run for these offices, Mr. Speaker. That is when you will be part and parcel of, like what is happening in Rwanda, Mr. Speaker. Women there are doing very well, Mr. Speaker, because we hear some horrendous, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, we hear some funny stories, Mr. Speaker, scary stories, that some political party honjos take advantage of our women and girls before giving them nomination, Mr. Speaker. We want to challenge. And I know it's not all parties, but a few, Mr. Speaker, who are errant, that are taking advantage, Mr. Speaker. The only way we can stop that is for women to go and register as voters in Meru, in Nandi, and across the country, run for those political offices, Mr. Speaker, become elected, and they can participate in the decision, Mr. Speaker. And that is why I'm happy. I saw, Mr. Speaker, in this Nico Kadi campaign, although it has been hijacked by some political tribalists, Mr. Speaker, who are trying to use it, this Nico Kadi campaign is very good because I've seen equally men and women are the one pushing Nico Kadi. I wish they would have remained neutral, Mr. Speaker, without being hijacked by a political party who are trying to look for political, they are doing what you call political ambulance chasing, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, let me give the House the 2022 general election. Out of Mr. Speaker, in National Assembly, 80 women out of 345 members were elected, including 47, Mr. Speaker. This only translates to 23%. So National Assembly is unconstitutionally constituted because it does not meet the threshold of Article 27A, Mr. Speaker, 27.8, Mr. Speaker. Another 27.3 and 4, Mr. Speaker, that says women and men have the right to equal treatment, including the right to equal opportunities, political, economic, and cultural and social spheres, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, for us who are Christians, it has to be noted that the greatest supporters of Jesus Christ were women. Even the people who visited first the tomb, Mr. Speaker, were women. Where were the men? They were still sleeping, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, or they were doing morning glory. Mr. Speaker, the point I'm trying to say is that the greatest supporters of the greatest supporters of Jesus Christ's gospel, who are acknowledged even if you read the Bible, Mr. Speaker, were women. They played a crowd role, Mr. Speaker. When the Jesus of Nazareth was spreading the gospel. So 80 women were elected in 2022, that reflects to 23%. This is against, Mr. Speaker, for members to understand, 49.12% of the registered voters in 2022, out of 22.1 million registered voters in Kenya, 49.12% were women. Despite that the population of women in this country, Mr. Speaker, is 50.6%. So there is still a challenge that women need to register. Senate, the members of the female gender in the Senate, female senators, are 28.4% against 67 senators, Mr. Speaker. MCS, we are doing very bad. MCS plus nominated and elected is 33.5%, Mr. Speaker. Only 6.2% of women elected MCS are directly elected, Mr. Speaker. I think in Nandi, I have barely a small number of directly elected MCS, Mr. Speaker. I know there are some regions, I don't know whether it's based in culture, Is it the thinking, Mr. Speaker, that the women are yet to be elected, Mr. Speaker? Because I've seen it depends. Even, for example, Mr. Speaker, in 2007, and I want to challenge women because this issue of women gender parity, although we don't want to call it women issue, it's gender parity issue, Mr. Speaker. It is issue of gender. Even in 2007, Mr. Speaker, when even, Mr. Speaker, the issue of gender or women seats had come. I remember in Nandi, Mr. Speaker, we elected Dr. Sally Kosgei, who went on to become one of the prolific political leaders in this country, and a well-read, Mr. Speaker, from Ivy League colleges and universities, and she was a former head of public service and a member of Aldai constituency, Mr. Speaker. Even there are a number of, even colleague Professor Margaret Kamar was elected, Mr. Speaker. There was a lady called Pepeana Mama in Eldoret South. In fact, Mr. Speaker, contrary to the belief that Kalenjins don't elect women, is a misnomer. Out of 15 women that were elected in 2007, almost more than a half were from Rift Valley, including from your county, Mr. Speaker. People like Lorna Laboso, people like Joyce Laboso, may they rest in peace, Mr. Speaker. And I was watching yesterday. Okay, I'm coming there, Mr. Speaker. You know I'm the darling of women senators today on the afternoon. So the show is mine, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, even Senator Joyce Korir has been elected, Mr. Speaker, from the lowest level MCA, Deputy Speaker, the elected member of county in Bomet, is now nominated senator. He has set a highs to become the member of parliament of Bomet Central, Mr. Speaker. Even Senator, and also mayor, she was also a mayor, Mr. Speaker. Even Senator Peris Tobiko was elected for 10 years, Mr. Speaker, in Kajiado, Mr. Speaker. And I set a highs to become the governor of Kajiado, Mr. Speaker. And I want to ask my friend Kato, since he's the State House Controller, and the President, we are giving him 2 terms, to just remain as a State House Controller so that we can give Senator Peris Tobiko, Mr. Speaker. Senator Crystal Asige, one of the prolific leaders, she has pushed for a bill, an act of parliament, which was signed by the President. The rumor mill has it that she has set her highs for Nairobi women representative, but we'll know that one when 2020. Even my good sister, Mr.
Senator Cherargei.
Yes.
For purposes of housekeeping,
yes,
we have got system challenge in terms of timekeeping. So your time remaining is 3 minutes 45 seconds for purposes of that contribution. The chair felt it's important to alert you of that.
Mr. Speaker,
you may now proceed. You may now proceed.
But I had 16 minutes. Why is it that when I start acknowledging my female colleagues, Mr. Speaker, at the time is suddenly being switched off? And I wanted to celebrate Senator Miraj Abdullahi. Mr. Speaker, she is running for a member of parliament, Mr. Speaker, in Mombasa County, and we are proud of her. Mr. Speaker, what I wanted to say in short is that the issue of gender is very critical, Mr. Speaker. We must ensure that we factor the role of women, even in religion. Mr. Speaker, in a couple of days, I was attending an ordination of Reverend Emily Chelagat Chirchir as ACK Ajidikon of ACK Kapkumur Ajidikonary, Mr. Speaker. So we need women in leadership. I've seen even the ACK Church, Mr. Speaker, have ordained a Canterbury, a women bishop, Mr. Speaker, to lead the ACK Church, the Anglican Church, Mr. Speaker. I also want to congratulate my good friend, Venerable Philip Kibrono Ruta, who was ordained as the ACK Ajidikon of Alda Ajidikonary. Mr. Speaker, the reason I wanted to mention this is we need to ensure that the mainstreaming of gender is not only on elective position, even appointive, Mr. Speaker. But I know the issue of appointive can be easily done, Mr. Speaker, and we need to ensure there is an integration, Mr. Speaker. And even people who are running for presidents, I want to challenge Senator Okiya Omtata, who has shown interest to run for president. He must tell us what he will do for women. I know what President William Ruto will do for women. I know he has done a lot in cabinet He has made very good campaign. For the first time, we have an Attorney General, a classmate, I don't know whether it's climate of Senator Okongo Mugeni, Douglas Odwar, who is the Attorney General, Mr. Speaker. President William Ruto has done very well in SHA, Mr. Speaker. Linda Jamii, where Linda women are integrated, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Cherargei, Senator Omogeni would like to inform you.
But freeze my time. I have 1 minute 24 seconds.
1 minute 24 seconds. Senator, Senior Counsel, proceed to inform.
Yes, Mr. Speaker, sir, I wanted to correct Senator Cherargei, or rather to inform him that Madam Dorcas Odur is a fairly senior member of the Law Society of Kenya. She joined the bar many years ahead of me. And when you mention her name, you should also tell Kenyans that she was a distinguished prosecutor on behalf of the DPP for many years, before she was elevated to the position of Attorney General, one of the pace setters in the legal profession. But she was not my classmate because she's far, far senior than me. Thank you.
For that information, and I hope I will listen to the contribution by Senator Okongo Mugeni on this issue of gender and the role of women. Mr. Speaker, finally, because I fairly have a few minutes, is we need an audit. And I want to challenge the Jailer Committee, which you are lucky to be the chair, to do an audit. Let us know how many women are running for these positions, elective positions, Mr. Speaker. I don't want to say zoning. You know, the moment I say zoning, ODM and UDA people will start feeling uncomfortable, Mr. Speaker. I want to propose that let us do audit, Mr. Speaker. Let us encourage political parties to give space for women to run for these positions. Let us protect women from political violence, Mr. Speaker. Let us protect women from being categorized and being intimidated and blackmailed, Mr. Speaker. Let us give opportunity to women to serve in senior government positions, Mr. Speaker. Let's allow women to run the show, because a woman's mind is always about sharing, Mr. Speaker. And I want to challenge women to run for these positions. They are not limited. Kipchoge Keino said at 159, no human is limited, Mr. Speaker. I want to challenge women. Let us do accountability reporting. Mr. Speaker, after the passage of this motion, I want to challenge that your Committee of Jailer give us opportunity, and then we do NGEC. The National on Equality Commission should give us a continuous monitoring, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, with those very many remarks, so that I can listen to my colleagues, we are proud of our women, wherever they are, Mr. Speaker. What man can do, a woman can do better. We want to see more women in leadership so that this country can be. And I know today I'll be the most popular male senator in the Republic of Kenya after supporting women, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, and I beg to second. Yay!
Thank you very much, Senator Cherargei. Now, Honorable Senators, having heard Senator Cherargei second the motion, I propose the question that aware that Article 27 of the Constitution of Kenya guarantees the right to equality and freedom from discrimination, with Article 27, Sub-Article 3, providing that women and men have the right to equal treatment, including the right to equal opportunities in political, economic, cultural, and social spheres. Further, aware that Article 27, Sub-Article 8 obligates the state to take legislative and other measures to redress any disadvantage suffered by individuals or groups as a result of past discrimination, and to ensure that not more than 2/3 of members of elective or appointive bodies shall be of the same gender. cognizant that mainstreaming gender perspectives in all aspects of governance is essential to achieving inclusive development and safeguarding the rights and welfare of all citizens, particularly women, girls, and other marginalized groups, concerned that the integration of gender considerations remain inconsistent across the two levels of government and that legislative processes have often resulted to policies that do not adequately address gender-specific needs and realities. Now, therefore, the Senate, 1, urges Parliament, county assemblies, and their respective legislative committees to incorporate a gender analysis in the scrutiny of legislation, policies, programs, and budgets before them, including through the use of gender impact assessments and consultation with gender-focused stakeholders to ensure gender-responsive governance. 2, recommends that the National Gender and Equality Commission and the State Department for Gender develops clear guidelines and tools to support the integration of gender perspectives in legislative, policy, and budgetary analysis, and ensures these are disseminated and adopted by relevant government and legislative bodies. 3, further urges the National Gender and Equality Commission and State Department for Gender to collaborate with the Kenya Law Reform Commission and County Assembly Service Boards to build capacity for gender analysis among technical and legislative staff. 4, urges the State Department for Gender to submit to Parliament a comprehensive biannual report detailing actions taken by ministries, departments, and agencies to promote gender mainstreaming, key achievements, emerging challenges, and proposed interventions. And 5, resolves that the Standing Committee on Labor and Social Welfare continuously monitor the implementation of these resolutions and tables biannual report on the status of implementation. Now, Honorable Senators, having proposed the question, the motion is now available for contribution by the honorable members. And just for purposes of housekeeping, I've seen the Honorable Senator Boni Halwale, Senator Mundigi, Senator Mungatana, and Senator Mazayo have queued on the intervention button and not on the request to contribute button. So the natural assumption is that you probably wanted to intervene otherwise than contributing to this motion. And if that is the case, yes. Very well, Senator Mugatana, the chair has noted that. So if your intervention and order is on that comment I made, I will work on the listing. I will therefore, Senator Joyce Korir, I will allow you to go first as I work on the requisitions by members.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, for giving me this chance to also speak to this motion by one Honorable Veronica Maina, one of our powerful ladies who also happens to be in the Speaker's panel. I just want to thank Honorable Veronica Maina for bringing this issue of gender mainstreaming, which I know, Honorable Speaker, as it has been touched by the Honorable Cherargei, who seconded this motion. This gender issue has become a challenge. I remember, Honorable Speaker, when I was in the National Assembly, the ruling was made, and it is true that the houses are not constitutionally constituted, ranging from the National Assembly, the Senate, to the county assemblies. Honorable Speaker, this is an issue that I want to urge this House that we need to address, because matters gender is not only affecting the women, but it cuts across. Honorable Speaker, a number of countries have tried in terms of making sure that they observe and implement the issue of gender. And by so saying, Honorable Speaker, I want to mention the Parliament of Rwanda,
where they have tried in terms of making sure that they give room to gender mainstreaming to an extent that women are in good position together with the men. Honorable Speaker, gone are the days when our women are taken for granted. They are no longer homemakers, as they used to think that the work of women is just to stay at home, look after the kids, look after their husbands. It is our responsibility as women. But I want to say, Honorable Speaker, we've been in leadership for some time, and still we are parents. And I want to say this, Honorable Speaker, we have families. Sometimes there's a notion and a culture that has been built to an extent that people believe that women, when given chance, they tend to forget their responsibilities. Honorable Speaker, I stand today to speak of the number of years that I have served, together with a number of women here, and to say what men can do, women can do better. Honorable Speaker, not only that, I must specifically thank this government, led by His Excellency the President, for the efforts that he has given in terms of making sure that he tries to incorporate women in a number of ministries, in a number of sectors, and I can say, Honorable Speaker, without fear of contradiction, a number of women are performing exceedingly, Honorable Speaker. Look at the defense, led by one CS Honorable Soiban. This is a docket that none of us could believe it can be led by the women. But I want to say, Honorable Speaker, as we speak today, we've seen a number of issues that have, a number of policies that have been done in that same ministry, a number of changes that has been done, a number of progress that the same ministry is getting, Honorable Speaker. Not only that, Honorable Speaker, when you go to a number of schools across this country, you will not mention 5 schools without being led by a woman. What does this mean, Honorable Speaker? It means the women are performing, and we are not underrating the men. What we are only saying is that we are also up to the task as women. Let the women be given the chance. Can we stop violence? Some of us, we cannot fight even the young boys, but we can walk the talk. Honorable Speaker, I want to say that His Excellency the President has tried, and he has seen the importance of having women in a number of sectors. Not only that, even with this institution, Bunge. I remember the other day, we were addressing a number of counties in the Committee of Cohesion. And we were checking on this issue of gender. And you find a number of counties are still failing. You find the issue of people living with disability. The requisite percentage that we are given is 5%, but a number of them are below 1%. Honorable Speaker, it was a wake-up call by the Gen Zs of this country. When they raised an alarm in terms of employment, it gave room to these houses to make sure that they critically check on a number of ministries, the mistakes that were done before. I remember the number of counties always talks about the defunct councils. But there have been new employments that have been done. But still you find the issues of gender not being addressed. Not only in terms of employment, but also in terms of procurement issues, which I want to believe, Honorable Speaker, as we speak about and as we educate our women, as leaders of this house, we will make sure that as we raise these issues, at the end of the day, we will be able to see the change. Otherwise, Honorable Speaker, I want to encourage all of us that we embrace the issue of gender mainstreaming, that we embrace all of us as a nation, meaning the women, the youth, people living with disability, and even our men. Can we work together? Can we compete equally? Can we be given a platform to all of us compete? Honorable Speaker, there is a culture that we've made and believe that nothing belongs to the women. And that is why most of the time when it comes to the political arena, you find the women cannot stand just because they have the policies, they have the knowledge, they have the ideas, but the problem is that they own nothing, Honorable Speaker, because of the culture. So it's high time that we embrace one another. It's high time that we enlighten our youth, our women, our people living with disability, and even a number of men, so that we can work together and build our nation together. Otherwise, I don't want to labor much, Honorable Speaker. I just want to say that I support this motion by Honorable Veronica, and I really request that the committee in charge should make sure that very positive ideas that are going to be raised in this floor are implemented to the letter. I remember the other day when you were trying to have an ad hoc committee to oversee a number of issues that our governors are failing. And this is one of the issues that I want to tell Honorable Veronica Maina that it should also form part of the discussion by the ad hoc committee to make sure that we don't discuss this issue year in, year out. Can we deal with it and make sure that it is implemented to the letter? Otherwise, thank you, Honorable Speaker. I pledge to support. Thank you.
Senator Boni Halwale.
Mr. Speaker, I thank you. And equally, like those who have spoken before me, wish to congratulate Senator Veronica Maina for this industry. Mr. Speaker, during a motion like this, it pays to listen to people who have the experience of living with a wife or wives, who have the experience of growing a child or children, but more importantly, who have had an opportunity to grow children of both sexes. Mr. Speaker, why do I say this? It is because seeing and feeling it is believing. I must confess, Mr. Speaker, that when I was a young man, before I met my own family, I was naive on the issues of gender equality. But after I got my own boys and I got my own girls, Mr. Speaker, is when I realized the beauty of a girl child, the beauty of a boy child. They are so beautiful that it forced me to answer the question, why in gender mainstreaming? Why gender mainstreaming, Mr. Speaker? I'm these days persuaded, and forever, that it is through gender mainstreaming that you can give equal benefits to both girls and boys, men and women. It is also through gender mainstreaming, Mr. Speaker, that you can be able to prevent inequality. Which begs the next question. How? Mr. Speaker, I have learned that the strategic how is to ensure that whoever is the decision maker, be it in government, be it in parliament, be it in organizations, be it in cultural setting, that person must always endeavor to make deliberate, strategic integration of the principle of gender equality. And Mr. Speaker, you cannot do this unless you answer the third question, namely, where do you do this strategic intervention to achieve gender mainstreaming? Mr. Speaker, again, I have answered myself and I said, fortunately, you don't have to strain to remember where should you do it. The answer is simple. Do it in all stages of life. That's all. The moment you do it in all stages of life, then you don't even have to think about it. You don't even have to remember. Mr. Speaker, if you do it in all stages of life, it means you gender mainstream in all programs, in all government and non-government policies. You do it when you are rolling out projects, and more importantly, you do it in cultural beliefs and cultural interpretation. Mr. Speaker, why do I say this? It is because there are some people who think that there is any African culture that is anti the girl child. All African cultures love their girl children. Mr. Speaker, what we lack is a proper understanding. Let me speak to the issue which is very sensitive amongst some communities, especially mine, the Luhya community, is the question of inheritance. Our culture is very clear on how a girl child, without struggling, will inherit land. They do not, in our culture, have to go to court at all. So that I'm not misunderstood by colleagues who are not lawyers. The Luhya culture says that they're the sons who will get land. However, when the elders sit, they then know how the daughter will benefit from the father's land. One. If, for example, the father of these children has got only daughters, then all his land belongs to the daughters with no question. And if he has sons and daughters, the land belongs to the sons, provided that the girl has a choice. What do I mean? If the girl, for example, is not married, or she's married and she's having issues where she's married, she's perfectly entitled to the father's land once she comes and reports that I have these challenges, and land shall be given to them. Mr. Speaker, I say this knowing that there are those people who want to hide in superficial understanding of culture to give the impression that, for example, the Luhya community would not allow a girl to get a land, to get a piece of land. Far from it. Mr. Speaker, since I know my time is running, let me not forget to celebrate my daughter, Shangwe Anota Khalwal. Shangwe, despite the many sisters she has, despite the first brothers she has, with whom they equally have very good education. I take my children to school very well. She has stood out before the boys' good. This month, Mr. Speaker, we not only celebrated Easter, but we celebrated Shangwe because Shangwe has been the first to write a book which has been published and we launched during Easter in Mombasa, Mr. Speaker. And the book, when I read it, it's very interesting how she came up with this. She calls it A Journey Through Her 20 Years. And you know, the girl speaks to that life of when girls are in their 20s and educates herself, her sisters, and fellow young women on the things that can make you find it difficult to progress. I truly celebrate Shangwe. And let me tell you, colleagues, the youth are ahead of us. I saw it at the University of Nairobi, School of Engineering, when my daughter was running to become a student leader in our School of Engineering. My daughter was running against classmates who were men, and I saw her classmates spend a lot of money campaigning, but all my daughter needed from me was a paltry 15,000 shillings for her to do her posters, and that was it. And she swept votes and votes from fellow girls and from fellow men, and from the men, a statement that our children have now gone beyond discrimination between the two sexes. So that I don't forget to thank God. God loved me so much, Mr. Speaker, that he wanted me to always remember that children are equal. And what did he do? He gave me more girls than boys. Although I want to request God, please add me a few more boys because I still have the patience to take care of and grow even more children. Madam Speaker, Mr. Speaker, sir, I want to conclude by appealing to colleagues that yes, our professions are very important, especially political career, that yes, our businesses are very important, especially the businesses of chasing for money. Please, please, move close to your children. Research, scientific, has confirmed that children who are close to their parents are more likely to be sensitive on issues of gender mainstreaming than children who are left to meander in life on their own without the directed guidance from the parents, Mr. Speaker. It is for this reason that I want to invite colleagues, especially Senator Veronica Maina. I saw you with my little girl, the one in school in London. When she finishes school, tell her as soon as she arrives in Fort Hall, which is today called Murang'a, she should look beyond Fort Hall, beyond Nairobi, beyond Nahuru, beyond Nakuru, beyond Kericho, to land her eyes in Kakamega. I have beautiful sons there, very well educated. They will make very nice husbands for her. I love children when they come of age, when they get married, the way my wives got married to me. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I support.
Senator Boni, did I hear you say the way your wives got married to you?
Yes, Mr. Speaker, I'm very careful with my English.
Yes, that is actually the confirmation that the chair is having.
I married my wives they got married to me. In Luyaland, it is not imaginable that a woman can marry a man.
Very well.
Yes, because a woman marrying a man, Mr. Speaker, with your permission, it means I partake of your culture and the culture I found in Zambia, where after marriage, you go and live in the home of your wife's parents. It's not imaginable in Luyaland.
Actually, the interest of the chair is about the plural, not wives.
Oh, it was
Forget
wives.
about the semantics.
Why is it worrying you? You should
Very
be
well,
asking me how many.
Very well, Senator.
And then I tell you I'm still counting.
Senator Mundigi.
Asante Bwana Spika kwa kunipa nafasi niweze kusangia mjadala wa Senator Veronica Maina kuhusu mambo ya gender balance. Bwana Spika, tukiangalia katika nchi ya Kenya, nashukuru sana kwa sababu rais wa Kenya wakati alichaguliwa kipindi ya mwaka wa 2022 alijaribu na endelea kujaribu ndio kuwe na usawa wa kina mama na wanaume. Bwana Spika, mambo ya gender balance haijaanza saa hii, ilianza mambo ya zamani. Na tunajua Bwana Spika, hata katika Biblia ile ambaye sisi tunafuata sisi wa Kristo, tunajua katika Biblia akina mama katika Biblia wametanjwa. Haswa tunakumbuka mambo ya kuzaliwa kwa Yesu Kristo na kufufuka kwa Yesu Kristo, kwa ukufa na kufufuka kwa Yesu Kristo, na kina mama wa kwanza kujua Yesu Kristo amefufuka ni Mariamu Mary Magdalene. Na mambo ya ajabu, wanaume walikuwa wamekaa pale, na wakati ile ilitokea hawakutaka kusema vile imetokea, lakini aliamka saa 12 akawacha wanaume wamelala na akaenda pale kuangalia vile usiku umeisha, lakini akaenda akaambiwa Yesu Kristo amefufuka. Yeye ikawa ingekuwa ni wanaume wangesema amepotea, ameimbiwa, na hiyo ndio ilikuja ikatokea. Kwa hivyo mimi naunga kazi ya kina mama katika mambo ya Kristo. Hapo tena katika dunia sasa, Anglican Church Archbishop mkuu ni mama ambaye anasimamia kanisa dunia mzima. Hapo wa kanisa pia katika Biblia kuna mama mmoja alikuwa anasonea akina mama na wasee nguo akatambulishwa. Lakini pia tunakumbuka Yesu wakati alienda jangwani alikutana akina mama, na pia hata Yakobo alikutana akina mama, lakini hakuna mahali tunasikia akina mama wamewekwa kando. Katika nchi yetu ya Kenya, nchi wa Kenya ni mama. Katika nchi yetu ya Kenya ambaye mkuu wa sheria ni mama. Katika county zetu 47, aswa county ya Embu, governor wa Embu County ni governor Cecily Mutitu Mbarire. Ukienda Kirinyaga ni governor wa Iguru. Ukienda Nakuru pia kuna mandamu ambaye ako huko, ambaye ukienda hata county zingine. Kwa hivyo hata hapa senator tuko masenata akina mama na tuko senator akina ume, na pia hata county nyingi akina mama waendelea kufanya kazi. Pia tukirudi nyuma kidogo, katika makanisa nyingi, kanisa ambaye inaongea mambo ya umoja na mambo ya kwenda mbinguni na mambo ya ukapa katika dunia hii, wale wamesikilia hiyo laini ni akina mama. Kwa hivyo hakuna tofauti ya kazi ya mwanamke na mambo ya kazi ya mwanaume. Tukiangalia kwa familia zetu, tumeona wakati wazee ama akina mama wanaseeka, unakuta zamani tulikuwa sema watoto wetu wasichana wafanye kazi njia ile nafaa, wakae vizuri, mali yote tunapatia tunapatia vijana wetu. Lakini siku hizi ukipatia, tumeona wale watu wamepatia mali akina ndanda wameweka vizuri, na baadaye wale vijana wamepatiwa wamehangaisha mali, wamekula imeisha, wametembea huko nje, lakini wanarudi kwa ndanda zao alafu wanaenda kutumia ile. Kwa hivyo tumeona boma nyingi ikisimamishwa na akina ndanda. Pia hata kwa boma zetu katika nyumbani, wakati wazee wamekosa pesa, wanatoroka, wanaenda kunywa pombe, wanaenda kunywa dawa ya kulevya, wanaenda kwa maandamano. Lakini unakuta shule nyingi, wale akina ndani wamewaswa na watoto, mama anaamka asubuhi, anaenda kutafuta pesa, anapeleka mtoto shule, anaenda ile pesa amembakisha, ananunua sabuni, ananunua kila kitu, na baadaye ikifika jioni, huyo mama ndio watoto ndio anaangalia mzee, ndio mambo ya chakula. Kwa hivyo mimi nikiwa senator wa Embu County, ambaye Daktari Alexander Munyimundigi, mimi naunga mkono mjadala wa senator ambaye ameulete, tuweze kuangalia vile utakuwa na usawa wa ya mambo yote ambayo inahusikana akina mama na wazee. Kwa hivyo ningeomba hata sisi turudi manyumbani, tumepitisha mambo mengi, tukute hakuna mambo ya akina mama na hakuna mambo wakati unagaa mali, ukute hata watoto wetu wasichana, watoto wetu wanaume wanapatiwa vitu na njia ile inafaa. Ndio kwa sababu wakati huu si wakati kusema ati kama zamani kuna mambo ya akina mama na mambo ya wazee, ati mambo ya akina mama ni ukaa nyumbani. Kwa hivyo naomba Bwana Spika, hii mjadala ni muhimu sana. Hata tunajua kaunti zingine iko na mambo ati akina mama hawezi patiwa kitu yoyote, ama hawezi kuchaguliwa ama kufanya kazi yoyote. Mjadala kama utaungwa mkono, itakuwa ni njia nzuri ya kuonyesha sisi kama vile Biblia, aidha ni mwanamke ama ni mzee ama ni watoto mshane ya kiume, mtoto wa kiume ama wa kike, tuko kitu kimoja. Kwa hiyo Bwana Spika, nikiwa senator wa Embu County, naunga hii mjadala na iendelee vizuri, na ningeomba kaunti zote maseneta wote 66 wakuja wachangie mjadala, ndio tuweze kuona vile tutatembea vizuri, ndio tuinganishe kila kitu. Yangu tu ni kuomba hii mjadala wale wataisikia wasipinge, iweze kupita, ndio kila mtu awe anasikia ako sawa. Kwa sababu Bwana Spika, tukifika mambo ya misahara, kama ni njesi msahara ni moja, kama ni mwalimu msahara ni moja, kama ni senator msahara ni moja, kama ni kila kitu msahara ni moja. Tukifika hata kwa kazi, hakuna anasema ati huyu ni mama ama ni huyu ni ndugu ama ni nani. Kwa hivyo kama ni mambo ya gender balance, ningeomba akina mama waweze kupatiwa nguvu. Hata wakati wa siasa tukiingia kwa uwanja, kama ni kiti ya senator, ukute hakuna mtu angangania aidha ni ndugu ama ni ndanda. Kama ni kiti ya parliament, kama ni kiti ya rais, ukute hiyo sheria tumeleta pamoja, tuweze kuona nchi yetu ya Kenya itatembea namna gani kama nchi zile zingine. Kwa sababu tumeonyeshwa na nchi za ng'ambo na kila, hata katika ulimwengu kama UK, Queen anafanya kazi. Kama angekuwa sio yeye, kungekuwa na Queen. Kwa hiyo nikiwa senator wa Embu County, naunga mkono mimi senator wa Embu County Daktari Alexander Munyimundigi. Asante Bwana Spika.
Senator Senator Miraj. Senator Miraj.
Asante Mheshimiwa Spika kwa kunipa fursa hii na mimi niweze kutoa changizo zangu katika mswada huu muhimu wa kuweza kuwawezesha na kuwapa fursa viongozi kina mama na hata kina mama pale mashinani katika nyadhifa mbalimbali katika nchi yetu hii ya Kenya. Lakini kabla sijasonga mbele Mheshimiwa Spika, nipende kumpongeza Seneta Veronica Maina kwa fikra hii nzuri na kuweza kuwawajibisha wale ambao wako katika ofisi mbalimbali katika nchi yetu hii ya Kenya kuweza kutii na kutekeleza yale ambayo katiba yetu tukufu imeweza kupeana mwelekeo kwayo. Mheshimiwa Spika, kabla niendelee zaidi, nipende kuwapa pongezi kina mama katika maeneo yote ya ulimwengu huu, hususan hapa kwetu Kenya. Kina mama ambao wanaamka asubuhi mapema kuenda kuchota maji, kutayarisha watoto wao ili waweze kwenda shuleni mapema. Kina mama ambao jioni wanawakaribisha mabwana zao, kuwatayarishia maji ya kuoga ili waweze kupumzika baada ya kazi nyingi. Pia niweze kuwapongeza kina mama waheshimiwa. Jumla ya pilka za siasa mchana mzima kuweza kushughulikia taifa letu, bado wanaporudi nyumbani wanaweza kushughulikia majukumu yao kama wazazi. Mheshimiwa Spika, motion hii ni motion ya muhimu sana, nikizingatia ya kwamba kuna taasisi ambazo zimeweza kuwekwa kikatiba katika taifa letu la Kenya ili kuangazia na kuhakikisha ya kwamba gender mainstreaming inaweza kuwafikiwa. Nikiashiria taasisi kama ya NGEK ambayo ina fursa ya kuona ya kwamba katika asasi zote za taifa letu la Kenya gender mainstreaming inaweza kufanyika. Lakini niweze kutoa changizo yangu kuongezea katika zile prayers, maombi ambayo Seneta Veronica Maina ameweza kuomba, ni kwamba ipo haja ya asasi ya NGEK kuweza kudevelop tools. Kwa mfano, wakati wa kupitishwa kwa mswada wa fedha wa kutenga bajeti, ipo haja ya kwamba ikiwa kuna wizara yoyote haijaweza kuwafiki katika kutekeleza masuala ya gender mainstreaming, basi waweze kunyimwa mgao wa fedha na waweze kuparalyze, kusimamisha maendeleo yoyote katika wizara hizo mpaka pale ambapo wataweza kutii na kutekeleza masuala ya gender mainstreaming. Bwana Spika, nikisongea mbele zaidi, nitake kuwapongeza na kuwapa moyo kina dada na kina mama wengi ambao wamejitokeza kuwania nyadhifa tofauti katika uchaguzi wa mwaka wa 2027. Ya kwamba kujitokeza kwao ni ishara kamili ya kwamba viongozi kina mama kutoka kule mashinani wapo tayari kuliongoza hili taifa la Kenya. Basi hivyo sisi, kwa sababu tumewatangulia hapa, ni sharti kuwawekea mikakati ambao italainisha barabara yao wakati wamejitosa katika ulingo wa kisiasa. Bwana Spika, niweze kuizungumzia kwa uchache ripoti iliyotolewa na tume ya EACC kuhusiana na masuala ya corruption, hususan ikielekezwa katika jinsia ya kike. Ripoti hii ambayo ilizunduliwa tu siku chache zilizopita, ikiitwa kwa jina la Kenya National Gender and Corruption Survey 2025, ilionyesha, Bwana Spika, ya kwamba kina mama wingi wanaitishwa ngono ili waweze kupata huduma za kiserikali. Na katika ripoti hii, Bwana Spika, kumetajwa gatuzi kadha wa kadha ambazo tabia hii mbaya imekuwa ikiendelea. Na katika survey hii, Bwana Spika, tumeweza kuambiwa ya kwamba kina dada wengi, kina mama wengi wana hofu na hawajitokezi kikamilifu kuyakemea ama kuenda kuripoti katika vituo vya polisi ule unyanyasaji ambao unaendelea. Na ni kwa sababu hiyo ambayo naunga mkono motion hii ya dadangu Seneta Veronica Maina ya kwamba ni wakati umefika, katiba inavyodai, katiba inavyoongoza, katiba inavyoashiria, ipo haja ya katiba hiyo kutekelezwa jinsi ilivyo. Na kwa sababu sisi ni viongozi wa kike hapa, tunawapa moyo na tunawapa hakikisho kina mama katika taifa hili la Kenya ya kwamba kwa sababu kwa sasa sisi ndio wachache, jinsia ya kike ndio chache katika nyadhifa tofauti katika jamii yetu ya Kenya, basi tutasimama kidete, tutasimama kidedea kuhakikisha ya kwamba hatuombi, hatubembelezi, bali tunasukuma kutekelezwa kwa katiba kama inavyopaswa. Asante Bwana Spika.
Asante sana Senator Miraj. Senator Mungatana.
Mr. Speaker, I want to thank you. for giving me the opportunity to also make my contribution on this motion. Mr. Speaker, first of all, I want to take this opportunity to thank the Honorable Senator Veronica Maina for the good work and the industry that she has put in to get this motion to where it is. Mr. Speaker, I want to say that I have a big bias for women leadership, because I learned from the best. I learned from my own mother, who is departed now. But I remember when she was leading the YWCA in Tana River County, I would see my mother, she would take us when we visited, because we would visit during school holidays when she was at duty. And she would take us into various villages, Mr. Speaker, where she was instrumental in starting many programs, very many programs, for support of the women. I used to watch her play games, and Mr. Speaker, that's how I picked up my seriousness in physical fitness, even at her age, and introduced that to other women. I saw leadership in my own mother. And Mr. Speaker, when I went first to seek for a parliamentary seat, all those women, Mr. Speaker, who used to work with my mother, they told me, don't campaign here. If you are the son of Martha and we can see your face, you don't need to campaign here. And Mr. Speaker, it was not normal those days for a first-time person to get a seat in Garsen. You had to keep failing before you get the seat. But I got it, Mr. Speaker, and retained it. So, Mr. Speaker, I am a believer in women leadership. And in this country, one of the top women that we have worked with is the Honorable Martha Karua. When I served in the Ministry of Justice, Mr. Speaker, we saw leadership in the Honorable Karua. And to date, I really, really respect the work she did as a Minister for Justice and Constitutional Affairs. Mr. Speaker, we must never forget people like the Honorable Charity Ngilu, who broke the ceiling for women when she ran for President of the Republic of Kenya. She came number 5, but Mr. Speaker, we will never forget that clarion call, Masani ya Ngilu, Masani ya Mama. Mr. Speaker, that gave the women of this country something to be proud about, something that created a lot of women leaders who came up. My mother, Mr. Speaker, going back to her, she was one of those people who attended the Beijing conference. And when they went to that Beijing conference, when she came back, it was a different woman. Mr. Speaker, she told us, your sister cannot be the only person who is going to be cooking here. You boys must also learn to cook and clean after yourselves, make tea, make ugali, make nyama, and everything else. There's not going to be a woman's job and a man's job in this family. And Mr. Speaker, I learned from a very young age to take care of myself because of the leadership of that mother of mine. Recently, Mr. Speaker, we were in Beijing on the United Democratic Party Alliance mission. And when we were there, one of the things that I learned is that In that country, women are paid allowance. For those who sit in the house to take care of the family, they are paid an allowance. And it is like a normal thing. You have to, as you're working, you have to take care of your wife, you know, because what she does is something that keeps that family together, something that we need to consider in this country. And I don't know whether the Honorable Boni Khalwale will support me, because he'll have to split whatever he gets amongst very many spouses. I don't know whether he'll support that. But it's important for us to realize the contributions that our women make in this republic, in our families, in our workplaces. There is no doubt on the capacity and the capabilities of women. Mr. Speaker, recently I was driving from Meru coming down to Nairobi with my family. And somewhere in Mwea, I got some trouble with the vehicle I was having. And Mr. Speaker, I picked up the phone and called the Honorable Governor for Honorable Mheshimiwa for Embu. And Mheshimiwa Cecily Mbarire picked up and told me, oh, you know, Mwea is not quite in my area. I don't know why I thought it is in Embu, but I think it's because we pass through Embu. But we are in a function here with the Honorable Mheshimiwa for Kirinyaga, Mheshimiwa Anne Waiguru. And we are here in a function, so let me give her the phone so that they can do what they can. And Mr. Speaker, look at that. Women leadership. Mheshimiwa came out of the function, spoke to me, gave me the chief of staff who was with her, go and sort out Mheshimiwa. And Mr. Speaker, I am saying here, in this floor of the House, that women leaders are very capable and they will sort you out when you have issues. I'm not saying this with any whatever by comparison, but I called my colleague here, and I wish he was here, Mheshimiwa Mondiki. He wasn't there, he couldn't pick the phone or whatever, maybe he was busy. But those are two governors who came out and made sure that myself and my family, we were taken care, even escorted, Mr. Speaker, all the way to Nairobi. Mr. Speaker, that tells you about women leadership. Even when we are looking at these reports in the Senate Public Accounts Committee, you will see, Mr. Speaker. Yeah? And I've said this many times. And one of my good friends who is a governor told me, oh, but I'm not that bad. I said, but most of the thugs, Mr. Speaker, are our male colleagues. Most of the criminals who have eaten a lot of public monies are our male colleagues. And some of them are so heartless and so merciless that they take money from the poor without a heart, Mr. Speaker. Without a heart. People like in Tana River, Mr. Speaker. Yani, you dare eat money for poor people like that, you know? So I have been telling even the women back home that you should contest these positions. There is no limitation, because we have seen where other women governors have done what they have been able to do, where they were elected, where the women were elected as members of parliament, what they have been able to do. Mr. Speaker, I went all out to campaign in the recent by-elections for the UDA candidate who was a female in Chewani Ward in Tana River County. And Mr. Speaker, we won that election because I told them the time has come for the women. And it is possible, Mr. Speaker, most of the voters in this country, truth be told, are women. If you don't have support of the women in your ward, the women in your constituency, the women in your county, the women in the country, you can't access these positions that are for elections, because it's the women who actually do the heavy lifting. Outside this nation, Mr. Speaker, in the continent, we've had great, great presidents. Everybody still speaks about Ellen Johnson Sirleaf and the leadership she gave to Liberia. Mr. Speaker, people, honorable members with whom we share the platform in the Pan-African Parliament, we still speak about her. We still speak about Joyce Banda and the time she led Zambia. Mr. Speaker, other non-executive heads of state, like the head of state for Ethiopia, the head of state for Algeria, we have seen extremely good leadership for women. So, Mr. Speaker, I want to assure our colleagues that we will not be making a mistake when we say we want to enforce the gender, one-third gender rule. We will not be making a mistake. I want to request all honorable members, we sit, maybe it is in the formulation of how we shall deal with these matters that the nitty-gritty that brings complications. But on appointed positions, it should be very, very easy. We should never have an issue. On appointed positions, one-third gender rule must be there. On elected positions, we need to twinkle with the Constitution and twinkle with our election laws so that political parties are forced to nominate candidates. If it is a male, the second one must be a female. This is something we need to think about, so that then when we talk and we say we believe in our mothers, we believe in our sisters, our wives, we believe in our daughters, we believe in our daughters-in-laws, then, Mr. Speaker, we must be able to do it in law. Because what we have seen in Africa across the entire continent is that it's only in places where it has been put down to law, only in those places that gender parity has become effective. Where it has been left out like that in all the 55 countries in Africa, then you will still see the domination of the male gender over the female gender when it comes to political power. And maybe it is time that we think on how we will twinkle with the laws. Kenya is rated very highly, obviously not as highly as Rwanda. Rwanda is, I think, the highest in the continent in terms of the gender parity. But Kenya is rated highly because of the many women who are in position and also in the legislature. But we need to do more so that we can be able to say our words and actually make it happen. Mr. Speaker, with all those many remarks, I beg to support this motion and ask all colleagues to come all out to pass this motion. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Senator Mungatana, for your contribution. I'll call upon Senator Mariam.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me this opportunity, Mr. Speaker. First of all, I have to appreciate our chair lady, Kiwasa, that she came up with this motion. This is a very good motion, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, this issue of gender mainstreaming, it once comes under one of ADCO report, but when it comes to implementations, it has been put aside. And later on, as a Kawasa, we drafted a bill. It has been opt to leave it behind. And now our chair lady, our leader of KEWASA, come up with a motion, and this is a way to solve this issue of gender mainstreaming. Mr. Speaker, gender mainstreaming, I'm standing here as a women representations in Mandera County. Mr. Speaker, when it comes to legislative positions of women, Mr. Speaker, maybe if I give some compositions of women, Rwanda, which is 64%, that is 50-50 of women gender of elected members in the parliament. Cuba, that is 55.7%. That is roughly 7 countries in the world have reached 50-50 gender. When it comes to the lowest, the 3 countries have 0% of the women in their parliaments, and 10%, less than 10% is 21 countries. And Kenya's is between 0 and 10%. We are trying in this compared to some countries which is 0% countries. Mr. Speaker, when it comes to, let me go as lowest as MCAs in our country. Since 2013, in northern Kenya specifically, if I highlight, is 2013, it is a 0% elected members of parliament, and county assembly, women, no women. 2017, 2 women as MCAs elected. In 2022, 2 women elected. That is in Wajir County. Mr. Speaker, why am I going back to this trend history? Mr. Speaker, is because of how we were treated to be elected in the position of MCAs, that is the lowest, to the member of parliament senate or member of parliament. Mr. Speaker, when I am saying this as northern Kenya, Mr. Speaker, there is an issue of democracy, negotiation democracy, which parties and elders just sit down and they only see men to be having occupied these positions. In their scenario that these women cannot hold any positions, they are cannot even capable of to run, lead a community, Mr. Speaker. We have to now change their mind by giving them, to show them as women senators and women representative, that is women reps, to show that we can do more than men. That is exactly, Mr. Speaker, sometimes they even compare us as a member of parliament that we can do more than them. But when it comes to the cultural issues and changing elders, their mind, it is a bit difficult, but we are trying with the performance on how to change their mindset of our elders. And I urge the parties, ODM, UDA, as Senator Mugatana also alluded to give tickets to women as first, and second to give to men as the second one, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, when it comes to this gender mainstreaming, there is an issue of the budget issue, both the national government and the county government. When it comes to funding of the departments of gender, Mr. Speaker, that is the lowest departments which are normally poorly funded. That's the issue. That is why the issue of gender-based violence normally cannot be solved, because even the grassroots, if you go to county, and the Department of Gender, they're saying they don't have budgets to take care of this and so forth. Mr. Speaker, we have to address this issue of budgeting so that at least the department must take care and give 50-50 to all departments, comparing to other departments than the gender department. Mr. Speaker, there is an issue of also a gap. Specifically, there is a specific gap in health. There is maternal mortality rates, which is now, it's very high. Mr. Speaker, when it comes to this, the highest death of our women dying in a labor room, Mr. Speaker, and in that case, there is an issue of budgeting. Why? Because in our system, there is no database that show that there is this issue of women, which has one of the women death in Mandera and the other one in Turkana. Mr. Speaker, there is no database that can relate on these maternal issues, Mr. Speaker. So this issue of maternal and birthing system is because of the low budgeting that gave to the county, show that this is a minor department of health. There's no need of taking care of the women. That's why maybe they are taking us inferior, that we are dying most. So I urge county government and national government to take action on to reduce this maternal birth issue, Mr. Speaker. And Mr. Speaker, I was in Mandera this week, Mr. Speaker, and we realized, Mr. Speaker, women are so kind. Most of this WhatsApp group they hold, they are doing it for just helping one another. Even they are helping men who are sick, men who cannot even take care of their families. They are the first forefront to do fundraising for them, for the neighbors, for any youth. So they are everywhere, for they are kind-hearted. And in that case, most of these can, because of their kind heart, they are kind-hearted, they are misusing women, Mr. Speaker, which end up their women to be a victim in GVVs, gender-based violence, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, there's this issue of injustice, justice delay, justice deny, which the victims of gender-based violence are normally not sorted quickly, Mr. Speaker. I investigated on all these issues, and the issue is most of them they are saying on budget issues. Let's take serious on this issue of budget so that at least this issue of women can be sorted quickly and forever, so that at least the community where women have, in fact, the community which women have the leadership can prosper, because she can go to grassroots and see who is needy and who is the person who can take care. She can take care for everyone, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, when it comes to the counties which are led by women counties, if you see the audit reports, most of those counties have a few issues which has been raised by the auditor report that show they are very keen and they are capable of their positions as a leader, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, for this, I urge members who are in this room, here in the House, to take this motion seriously, and let's support this motion very well so that it can go through and sort out this issue of mainstreaming. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Paris Tobiko.
Is it on? Oh, thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, thank you for this opportunity to contribute to this debate, Mr. Speaker, on mainstreaming gender issues, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, let me begin by congratulating Senator Veronica Maina for bringing this motion, Mr. Speaker, which comes at the right time. Mr. Speaker, this is definitely an exciting debate for members at this particular time. And Mr. Speaker, I think we need to reflect as a nation how far we have come in terms of gender mainstreaming, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, when you critically analyze our social aspects as a nation, our cultural situation of various diverse Kenyan communities, our economic situation, Mr. Speaker, then you will be able to see the placement of both genders, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I'm talking about both genders because I always appreciate the fact that gender includes all, Mr. Speaker. But why people have specifically narrowed down to women whenever the issues of gender comes in, it's because there is a specific gender that has continuously been excluded, been ignored, been marginalized, Mr. Speaker, in various ways, Mr. Speaker, in the national discourse. Mr. Speaker, I even keep wondering whether it's really a gap in legislation, Mr. Speaker. Is it really a gap in legislation, Mr. Speaker? Because if we begin from the spirit of the 2010 Constitution, you realize, Mr. Speaker, that Kenyans aimed, wanted, desired gender parity, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the Kenyan Constitution, Article 27, Article 81, and many other articles, Mr. Speaker, talk of inclusion and equality, respect of human rights, Mr. Speaker, regional balance, gender balance, and all that, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, and I still wonder whether we are paying lip service, to the aspect of gender parity and inclusiveness, Mr. Speaker. Because, Mr. Speaker, if this House
and when I say this house, I mean both houses of parliament, have not addressed the issue of the 2/3 gender rule, then, Mr. Speaker, I will personally say it's a breach of the Constitution. So if we can begin from there, there is a breach of the Constitution. Kenyans were very clear that they wanted a 2/3 gender representation in the country, in the legislative houses, in county assemblies, in the Senate, in the National Assembly. But we have been unable, even after various court intervention and rulings, we've been unable to address that. Mr. Speaker, women contribute in the various aspects of life of this nation, starting from the family, Mr. Speaker. You cannot imagine today a home without the role of a woman, a mother. There are many women-headed households in this country, Mr. Speaker, and even where the women are not heading those households, Mr. Speaker, they prepare everybody for the day-to-day issues of life, starting from the morning, preparing everybody and working for the good of everybody so that everybody can go to school, can go to work, prepare their husbands, prepare their sons and daughters, Mr. Speaker. And when the contribution has not been measured, Mr. Speaker, when contribution has not been measured, then, Mr. Speaker, you cannot even begin to imagine whether we are talking about equality or talking about, Mr. Speaker, addressing these issues, Mr. Speaker. And so, Mr. Speaker, I would want to say that we have a long way to go as Kenyans. But I would also say, Mr. Speaker, particularly when it comes to leadership, women must come out, must take a lead role, must be proactive in presenting themselves to the electorates of this country so that we give Kenyans a fair chance to either elect or not to elect women, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I have said on the floor of this House, and I can proudly repeat the same, that, Mr. Speaker, I am very proud of the Maasai community where I come from. Because, Mr. Speaker, whereas the rest of Kenyans perceive the Maasai community as very conservative, but the Maasai community has proved itself very respectful of both genders. The Maasai community, Mr. Speaker, and this is on record, has now continuously increased the number of elected women in competitive elective seats, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I have always mentioned that the Samburu people in Samburu West have elected Naisula Lesuda as their constituency holder. And Laikipia North have elected Sarah Lekorere as their constituency MP. And Mr. Speaker, the Narok people, the people of Narok North, the seat that was held by the Maasai kingpin, Mzee Olendimama, today, I think this should be documented. That seat is occupied by a lady, Agnes Pareyo, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I am also privileged to have been elected in a competitive elective seat, constituency seat twice, 10 years, and Mr. Speaker, they didn't elect me. They didn't failed to elect me. I am the one who got a bigger vision and wanted to represent them at a more senior capacity, Mr. Speaker, and I went to contest for the seat of governor. But I got elected as Member of Parliament for Kajiado East for 10 years, Mr. Speaker. And today, I know the people of Kajiado are ready to elect me as a woman governor, Mr. Speaker. And the Kenyan community has shown that you know, they continuously elect women governors. Today, at least on the 2022 general elections, 7 women were elected as governors. Even if one has been haunted out of the office, Mr. Speaker, for flimsy reasons, Mr. Speaker, I would still say the people of Kenya elected 7 women governors, Mr. Speaker. And Kenyan women continue to hold very crucial roles. The Chief Justice today is a woman. The Attorney General is a woman. The Deputy CJ is a woman, Mr. Speaker. And so, Mr. Speaker, the Kenyan society is ready for women leadership. Mr. Speaker, let me also talk about budgeting. If we are serious, Mr. Speaker, we must then pass budgets that are gender responsive. We must also involve technical expertise on gender issues, Mr. Speaker, so that our progress is well guided, Mr. Speaker, with the technical know-how, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, let me say, because I can see time is moving, that Kenyans are ready to elect women in all elective seats. Mr. Speaker, let me also say that the Kenyan society has no problems with women. The only thing we need to is that for policymakers, for those who are executing and implementing, they must be true to the spirit of the Kenyan Constitution and to the spirit of the Kenyan people. And so, Mr. Speaker, I do support this motion. Mr. Speaker, I don't know why I'm being pushed, because I still see I have some 2-3 minutes for my time. And so kindly allow me to execute my position, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, when I talk about the gender responsive budgeting, you also realize that women are the small traders. And Mr. Speaker, they hardly receive credit advanced to them because of not having, collaterals like title deeds. Yet women are very good payers. They are faithful in paying back their loans, Mr. Speaker. And so they need to be considered in accessing, subsidies, in accessing credit advanced, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, we need to, every institution, every ministry, every department in both national and county governments must be able to give regular updates and reports on the implementation of mainstreaming the gender policies, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, let me say I support, and Mr. Speaker, for obvious reasons, I would request that the question is deferred, Mr. Speaker, to a later date. The debate is deferred to a later date, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
Senator Paris, I believe that you're seeking to defer further debate of this motion to a further date?
Yes, on what's that?
That is understanding order 110.
Yes, understanding order 110.
To adjourn further debate on this motion.
Yes, Mr. Speaker, to adjourn further debate on the basis of standing order 110. Thank you. I request Senator Veronica to second.
Senator Veronica.
Honorable Speaker, thank you for the opportunity, and I want to thank my sister, Senator Perry Strobiko, for what she has contributed, and I want to second the motion she has moved for the further debate to be postponed to a future date, maybe tomorrow, Honorable Speaker, in view of the fact that this is a very important motion. And there are many, many senators and members of Kenya Women Senators also who would wish to contribute to this debate. And in view of the fact that Parliament has really struggled with compliance on gender matters, Honorable Speaker, I would urge you to allow this motion to be, the debate of this motion to be postponed to a further date. Thank you, Honorable Speaker, and I hereby second the motion for deferment of debate.
Thank you, Senator Veronica. Pursuant, Honorable Senators, to the provisions of Standing Order 110.3, I find that this motion to postpone further debate is not an abuse of the proceedings of this House, and I will therefore proceed to put the question that the debate, or rather further debate on this motion, be postponed to a later date. And may of those opinions say aye. Aye. May of those contrary opinions say nay. The ayes have it. So, Honorable Senators, debate on this particular motion is hereby postponed to a further date and shall be placed in the order paper. Clerk, you may now call the next order.
Order number 25, motion. Report of the Standing Committee on Health on a petition to the Senate by the Kenya Union of Clinical Officers regarding alleged discrimination, interference, and violation of clinical officers' practice rights by the Ministry of Health, the Council of Governors, and the Social Health Authority.
Honorable Senators, I'll call upon the Chairperson, Standing Committee on Health, to move the motion.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I beg to move that the Senate adopt I beg to move the reports of the Standing Committee on Health on the petition to the Senate by the Kenya Union of Clinical Officers regarding alleged discriminations, interference, and violation of the clinical officers' practice rights by the Ministry of Health and the Council of the Governors and the SHA Authority. Mr. Speaker, the petition by Kuso raised a weighty question touching on the health system, labor relations, the health workforce governance, and access to the service. In particular, the petitioner complained of alleged discrimination against clinical officers in implementation of the SHA framework, non-implementation of labor agreements, delay in internship posting, unfair terms of the UHC staff, and failure by the county government to adopt the approved career guidelines for the clinical officers. Mr. Speaker, the prayer, which has been sorted among other interventions, the end to the exclusion of the clinical officer from empowerment process, full implementation of the return to the work agreements, posting of the all clinical officers due for internship with harmonized payments, and immediate conversion of UHC staff to the PP permanent and pensionable term. Mr. Speaker, in the discharge of its mandate committee held 4 meetings and received the information and written submission from the petitioners, the Minister of Education, the Minister of Health rather, the Council of Governors, the Public Service Commissions, and other related stakeholders. The committee then analyzed the submissions and prepared the reports before this House. Mr. Speaker, on the committee, on the important issues that rose at the outset was a pair of sub judice. The Ministry of Health informed the committee that some of the issues raised in the petition were also sub judice. Petition number 31 of 2025 before the High Court. Therefore, invited the committee to refrain from the inquiry on these matters. The committee carefully addressed that objections. The reports clearly noted that the sub judice rule exists to protect the integrity of ongoing the court proceedings and to uphold the separation of power, but it also requires persistent assessment of what is actually before the courts and what remain available for the parliamentary oversight. Upon the consideration the scope of the court's cases, the committee found that the issue of empowerment by the Shah was indeed the subject of the active judicial proceeding. However, the matter concerning the implementation of the return to work agreement, posting of the interns, and the conversion of the UHC staff into the permanent and pensionable position fell outside the court's active consideration, therefore remain open to the parliamentary scrutiny. The committee inquired confirmed that the central place of the clinical officers within the Kenya health system. The report notes that the clinical officers are often the first and in many places only the point of the contacts for the patients, especially in the rural and understaffed areas, and they provide diagnosed treatments, minor surgical procedures, and a long-term disease management. The committee further found that the grievance presented by the Kenya Union of Clinical Officers did not raise the overnight. They reflected the prolonged patterns of industrial disputes, delayed negotiations, incomplete implementation of agreements, uncertainty over the term of the service that has been persistent across both national and the county's government. The evidence before the committee showed that 99 days strikes in 2024 ends with a court's immediate return to the work formula that required the movement toward the conclusion of the collective bargaining agreements, but the implementation delay continued. The report further, the committee further report that another national wide crisis emerged in the late 2025, earlier 2026, before the fresh return to work agreement was signed in 28 January 2026, and comprehensive CBA was actually signed in February 2026. Eventually, even then, the committee observed that the approval and the court's registration process remain inconsistent and delayed. That find it important because labor agreements in the health sectors are not abstracted documents. Delay implementation directly affect the moral retentions, service delivery, and industrial harmony. Mr. Speaker, the issue of the internship posting was equally serious. The committee required the evidence that the internship is not optional. It is a legal and professional prerequisite for the licensing and independent practice, and delay in posting the qualified interns inevitably delay the entry into the service and weaken the staffing across the health facilities. The committee specifically noted that the large cohorts of qualified clinical officers remain pending posting for the internship, and that CUSO informed the committee that 5,433 practitioners were waiting internship placements in the country, striving to the strengthening primary health care and universal health coverage. Such delay presents both labor injustice and the service delivery gaps. On the question of the UHC staff, the committee found a long-standing implementation problem that has not been resolved with the agency, and it deserves. The reports record that 9,724 health workers were recruited under UHC program in April 2020 on the contractual terms, and that the transitions to the permanent and pensionable employment has since been slow by physical constraints, verification exercise, and bureaucratic and bottlenecks and disputes between the national and the county government. Mr. Speaker, this one has been solved last with the BPS. The committee also noted that the national coordinating submits and approval 3 years extensions and directed the development of the transition of the framework, while the Council of the Governors had resolved to transit the salaries to SRC prescribed rates effective from 1st of September 2025. Even so, the promised regularization of the employment status remain incomplete, thereby prolonging insecurity among the staffs who are already serving within the health facility. The committee observed therefore measured the evidence-based and practical. The committee collected refrains from pronouncing itself on SHA employment issues because that question is before the courts. Mr. Speaker, secondly, it found demonstrable delay and inconsistency in the approval and registration of the return to work formula, March 2025, memorandum of understanding on January 2026, remain return to the work agreement and in comprehensive CBA. Thirdly, it found that the delay posting of the qualifying interns was undermining the timely entries into the practice and weakening the optimal staffing of the health facilities. Fourthly, it found that the absorption of UHC into the PMP term continued to be frustrated by the intergovernmental pediment. Finally, the committee noted that in the approval of the budget's policy statement 2026, it is proposed that 8.94 billion included in the equitable share for financial year 2026-2027 to support the transition of UHC health workers into the permanent and pensionable terms, and to pay gratitude with a distribution based on the number of the workers in each counties. The recommendation of the committee flows from this observation and deserve the support of this House, and they are not punitive, and they are corrective and implementable and time-bound. The first recommendations require the Cabinet Minister, Cabinet Secretary for Health, and the Chairman of the County Council of Governors and the County Public Service Board to develop and file with the Senate within 30 days of adoption of this report the consolidated implementation matrix for the return to work agreement and CBA. That matrix is to be identify actions, responsible officers, and milestone for the salary structure arrears, allowance, and it is to be followed by the quarterly progress reports to the Senate. The second one, the recommendation is particularly important because one of the recurring weaknesses in the public sector labor relations is an absence of the agreement implementation dishonored. That agreement implementation dashboard. By requiring the time-bound matrix and regular report, the committee has given a Senate a practical oversight in instruments rather than mere declaratory resolution. The second recommendation directing the Ministry of Health and the Council of the Governors in consultation with the CUS to develop and circulate within 60 days standardized human resource for health deployments guidelines covering the internship, permanent and pensionable adoptions, permanent and pensionable absorptions and transfers. That recommendation addressed the structural gap in the workforce planning and should reduce uneven practice across the countries. The recommendation calls upon the Ministry of Health, the county government to fast-track the establishments and the requirements, the establishment and recruitment and appointment process required to integrate all the duly verified UHC and Global Fund staff into the approved county staff structure in a full constitutional and statutory compliance. It also required the Council of Governors to urgently conclude the binding intergovernmental agreement with the national government to secure full and timely financing of the resulting wage bill and including and pending arrears. The fourth recommendation is equally subsequently, and it urged the National Treasury to reinforce the proposed 8.94 billion for UHC conversion in the financial year 2026-2027, ensure timely reimbursements to the counties, and put in place a safeguard against diversions or reallocations while requiring the settlement of outstanding gratitude arrears within the first quarter of that financial year. Mr. Speaker, this recommendation speaks to the wider governance problem that this Senate must remain alert to. Devolution assignment.
Senator Mariam, I did not want to interject while you are proceeding, but please note the Sir left the seat and now it's Madam Speaker.
Sorry for that, Madam Speaker. The recommendations speak to the wide governance problem that this Senate must remain alert to. Devolution assigned counties central roles in the health service delivery, but efficient management of the human resource for the health still require the structural cooperations between the national government and the county government and independent commissions and the professional bodies. Madam Speaker, where such coordination fails, the effects are immediate and severe. Industrial unrest depend and training personnel remain underutilized. The country facilities become understaffed, and the patient bear the burden through the delays and disrupting the care services. This is why this report is not merely about one cadre of the health workers. It is about reliability, fairness, and stability of the public health system. As Madam Speaker, the Senate as protector of the county interests and as the House charged with the oversight on the matters affecting the counties should therefore adopt this report so that the recommendation acquire authorities of the resolution of the House, and so that the relevant institutions are placed under a clear obligation to account for the implementation. Mr. Speaker, Madam Speaker, on that, Madam Speaker, we need this report, this recommendation to be done, to be implemented after the report has been tabled, and it must be, because this will affect the service delivery of our city, our people. Madam Speaker, with that, the committee appreciates the participation of the petitioners and all stakeholders who made the submission during the inquiry, and these engagements enable the committee to distinguish between whether the proper than the courts and matters that require the urgent parliamentary intervention. Madam Speaker, with the time, I beg to request the Senator Cherargei to second. Thank you.
Senator Cherargei, you can proceed.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and I want to applaud the distinguished Vice Chairperson of Health Committee, Senator Sheikh Omar, for ably moving the motion, especially on the reporting of the petition by Kenya Union of Clinical Officers, or called KUCO. Madam Speaker, coincidentally, I'm the one who presented the petition, so it's an honor and privilege that I have to second this report that has been moved by the Vice Chairperson of Health. Madam Speaker, let me make the following opening remarks. It is critical as the players of devolution. The success or failure of devolution will be the only yardstick, Madam Speaker, will be the success or failure of health committee, of health function in our counties. Madam Speaker, I know you next, after 2027, you want to be among the people who will continue protecting devolution in this country. And we wish you well. As the protectors of devolution, and I've always insisted, if you want to see whether devolution is working or not, just look at the health function. Because the health function, Madam Speaker, affects up to local person in the village. And despite that, more than 4 trillion Kenya shillings have been allocated to counties from 2013 to date, one of the most deplorable, the most service that is not provided, Madam Speaker, is health. Madam Speaker, I had the privilege together with the health committee to host them in my county. I visited Kericho County Referral Hospital. We went to Meteite Sub-County Level 4 Hospital. We went to Nandi Hills Level 4 Sub-County Hospital. We went to Kapsabet County Referral Hospital. And there is one common denominator. Apart from understaffing, demoralized, there is a factor of untidiness and deplorable, pathetic cleanliness within our counties, Madam. But one thing stuck out in and it is across the country, is that clinical officers are the only saviors in most of our health facilities. Madam Speaker, you have to know the history of clinical officers in this country. When it was started by Moi government, it was noble and it has continued to provide quality health services. And therefore, the failure of empowerment of them by the Social Health Authority and the Ministry of Health and county governments is very unfortunate, Madam Speaker. And I'm happy the committee has agreed with the petition from Kenya Union Council of Clinical Officers, Madam Speaker, in the right direction. And I hope, as the committee has proposed, by the 30 days on the debate and adoption of this report, Madam Speaker, we must implement the recommendations that had been made to the letter by the Committee of the Health, Madam Speaker. And I believe, and I want to believe, just the way some of us are Christians, the way the Bible encourages us not even to change a comma. In this report, we should not change a comma, Madam Speaker. The clinical officers are the ones making our health facilities function. When nurses are not there, because Madam Speaker, you have to know the training of a doctor, and even getting doctors in some of the health facilities is hard because their training and hiring is very costly, Madam Speaker. So the people who treat us, even some of us who grew up in the village, we call clinical officers daktari. Yes, they are doctors. But they are the saviors of most of our facilities, Madam Speaker. And they treated us very well. And you have to appreciate there are more than 30,000 clinical officers across the country, Madam Speaker. And most of them are specialists that we rely in our hospitals, Madam Speaker. Include anesthesia, reproductive health, pediatricians, ophthalmologists, oncology, nephrology, ENT, Madam Speaker, among others, and even cataract surgery, orthopedics and trauma, among others, where they are specialists, Madam Speaker, as clinical officers. So the fact that there were discrimination in empowerment, and this is where this petition rests, Madam Speaker, is very important that the Social Health Authority, which is working by the, and Madam Speaker, I want to confirm before the House, I know the CS of Health might appear tomorrow during question time. And I'm happy that every referral hospital we went, be it Kericho and others in Nandi, Social Health Authority is working. And you know in level 5, they are giving up to per day to a patient 3,920. Madam Speaker, Social Health Authority is working, but the governors are the one failing this country. Because when you go and get treated, there are no drugs in hospitals. So people go and buy drugs outside in pharmacies, and that is when now people say SHA is not working. Because governors have failed to provide drugs. We went to Nandi. They brought drugs midnight. Some of them were empty boxes, Madam Speaker. And we saw in Kericho, Madam Speaker, a patient SHA had fully paid for them. So while we appreciate SHA to work, it is the failure on the part of governors. And it is not only governors, all of them, including Muranga Governor, Madam Speaker, including Wajir, where the COG chair comes from, Madam Speaker. The SHA is working, but there is no drugs in hospital, Madam Speaker. It is working. Another issue, because these are clinical officers' reports and they do prescription, they treat our people, and that is why we think SHA, for SHA to be efficient, the empowerment of clinical officers, which this petition rests on, and as proposed by Kenya Union of Clinical Officers, KUKO, they must be empaneled for efficiency and profit. Madam Speaker, you are one of the senior lawyers of this country. You are an SG emeritus of a ruling party, United Democratic Alliance, Madam Speaker. I have seen our current SGs coming under barrage of attacks from especially, I saw my colleagues from ODM trying to direct how UDA should operate. But I want to advise them, Madam Speaker, because you have been an SG, to keep off UDA matters. We will handle our UDA matters as it should be, Madam Speaker. As a lawyer in this country, Article 43 is very clear that health is a right. It's a basic human right. That is why Kenya and the Kenyan Constitution have a progressive Bill of Rights. For that to be effective, Madam Speaker, for that to be fair, Madam Speaker, to the country, you must appreciate that, Madam Speaker, that we must empanel clinical officers. When you go to dispensaries, you go to level 2, level 3, there are no doctors up to level even 4. The people we rely are clinical officers. They treat our grandmothers. They treat our mothers in the village. They are the CEOs, clinical officers, Madam Speaker. So this empowerment, and I think it offends Article 27, Madam Speaker, on the issue of discrimination. Because, Madam Speaker, the basic human rights of access to affordable, quality health care is a basic human right of every Kenyan. And I think, Madam Speaker, the drafters of the Constitution and Kenyans who gave themselves this Constitution made sure that access to medical care includes qualified, competent, and clinical officers and health practitioners, Madam Speaker. So I want to appreciate the findings of the committee on the issue of, Madam Speaker, and even there were over 1,000 facilities denied empanelment and contracting. Madam Speaker, you have to appreciate, and Kenyans should know this, that 1,000 facilities had empanelment of clinical officers under the defunct national NHIF, National Hospital Insurance Fund, NHIF, Madam Speaker. It is not something new. Kenyans should not understand, Madam Speaker, so that I'm bringing up to speed, or anybody who is watching these proceedings, Madam Speaker. 1,000 facilities are the ones who provided this empanelment, Madam Speaker. And therefore, it is very critical, Madam Speaker, that the clinical officers must and should be empaneled as by the SHA. Otherwise, it will be discriminatory, Madam Speaker. While SHA, Madam Speaker, I noticed something about SHA also. They are rejected claims, and I hope the CS will address tomorrow, is I went to Kericho, Madam Speaker. When they were processing billing and release of patients, I noticed that there are so many rejections from SHA. And some of the reasons, by the way, I think SHA also needs to be very careful when they are rejecting, because, Madam Speaker, when I asked a clinical officer when they were processing, they had sent all the details, including birth certificates, Madam Speaker, that the SHA did reject without following the proper procedure, Madam Speaker.
Honorable Senators, it's now 6:30 p.m. time to adjourn the Senate. And Senator Chiradige, you'll have a balance of 10 minutes when we next resume Senate and this motion is called. So the Senate therefore now stands adjourned until tomorrow, Wednesday, 22nd April 2026 at 9:30 a.m. Thank you.
Years 2016-2017 to 2021-2022 laid on the table of the House on Tuesday, 2nd December 2025. Honorable Speaker, the report entails the constituencies of Rari, Rurambi, Embakasi Central, Kilifi North, and Muvita constituencies for the financial years 2017, 2018, 2019, 2020, 2021, and 2021-2022. Honorable Speaker, the committee examined a total number of, out of the 30 reports of the audited general spanning from all those years, Honorable Speaker, and the committee made recommendations and observations. Honorable Speaker, allow me to highlight some of the key observations and findings made by the committee on success projects implemented by the constituencies examined. In Lari constituency, Honorable Speaker, the fund supported the construction and renovation of classrooms, security innovations, and ICT hubs. In